Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
Damn. Dropping the bass like a second twins. It's the umbrella guy on the mic again. This isn't murder, it's a freestyle. Read emotions, that's your refile. Lead press on truth like the hairline. With edges even AI cannot define. And I'd ask for the truth, but I can't deny. Representation that she purchased down Fiverr. A phony lawyer with a mouthpiece defending. Pretend they respect the First Amendment. It's that umbrella guy, and we're fighting back. With Megan Fox and Dave Neal poised to attack. Assassinating his beat like a verbal John Wilkes Booth. Asking for refunds on this third version of truth. Do you honestly expect us to buy it? When you rewrite the story and deny it. With so many changes in this deception. In this tonsillitis form of mouth conception. You said someone warned you on an airplane with napkins. Say get out now, you really see it happen. Expecting the masses to adore you. And threatening those that adore you. You wanted this tale to go viral. While we watch this, tell us not to spiral. And when anyone stops and questions you, your answer is stop or I'm gonna sue. Face in the sense that umbrella guy loaded down with my hunches. Reminding your lawyer there's no free lunches. Dropping logic like sonograms with questionable headers. Knowing even the judges know better. It's that umbrella guy reading your dockets. Ordering moon bumps with plenty in pockets. Ordering, knowing that it was eventual for you to claim it wasn't consensual. What a sham. How many people have you falsely accused for lies that you used and bruised? You know you've abused the trust of anyone that showed you attention without the slightest apprehension. And that's not your biggest fail, no. It's the lies you resell.
The twins are alive.
The twins are alive.
The twins are alive. Oh God, I like that.
I was just telling the chat, I don't think they're ready for what we have
Oh
for
my God.
tonight. You are not ready, chat. You think you're ready? You think you're ready? You are not ready for this.
Somebody said, by the way, at the beginning, the ads need to go. Yes, they put ads on here, but you know they don't monetize it for us. So those
They
ads,
put ads on live streams now. I was trying to watch
Yeah.
Dave today. I got interrupted like 6 times. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
mine is freaking demonetized. I don't get any of that ad money. I'm like, you bastards. You know,
Bastards.
because I don't even I'll try to turn on the monetary thing, but I don't turn it on until after the live stream. So it's not even turned on right now.
Yeah, I don't
So
turn mine on until afterwards either, and then it always goes to yellow anyway.
it's just, yeah, that's what I expect. All this tonsillitis twin stuff. So if you'd like to support the channel, make sure you get on that twin tugger train or whatever the fuck we're talking about.
Get that groovy
Whatever.
cash out, get that breadstick money out, because this is not free. It is free to hit the like button and subscribe, though, but it takes time to build up the information and to gather it all and put it together in a way that will not only inform you, but entertain you. And you can't buy that shit on Netflix. Let me tell you, there's hardly anything on there worth watching.
Heck, I've been stepping up the just for the one music app because I haven't ran it through the other ones yet, and the video app I'm playing with. There's $45 a month. Production value, baby.
Yeah, and my internet is still not sorted, by the way. The chat wants to know. So if I do start sounding like a robot, I have the right icon for it.
You better fix that, Megan. You know, yesterday, you know how like you put up like super chats, like Fallen Hero here. Thanks for the gifted membership. Ah, you like that? I'll work that in. But yesterday it froze up. I
saw that.
Yeah, that was weird. I couldn't
That's
get
kind
to
of
do
like a
anything.
StreamYard issue to me. That's
Yeah.
super weird.
I'm like, I pay for that too. Come on, man. You know, the
Today,
overhead on
I didn't
streams are
even.
like, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't even get to tell my stream this today because it didn't come in until after I was off the air. But somebody dropped me $300 on Venmo today. So I
Wow.
just want to say, Tina, you're amazing. And it wasn't even a mistake because she sent me a long message about how she appreciates the coverage.
She meant to send it to me. Damn, Megan.
Damn.
Damn you,
Well,
man.
maybe Tina's in the audience. Tina, if you're here, you can throw Chuck some breadstick money too. That
No,
was
I'm glad.
beyond breadstick money.
That's
That was like
awesome. Yeah, that's
that's
new
like a
refrigerator
weekend
money.
away money. Yeah.
That's the cockroaches can play today. Woohoo! Man, speaking
Woohoo!
of playing, a lot has been going on. A lot. My God. I thought going into yesterday was crazy, because we had 3 filings that dropped then, and the day before, we had a pretty awesome filing go with that too, but today is just gone
All right.
mad.
Let me see if I can explain it properly. So we've had 3, 4, maybe 5 filings in a week, which is very unusual. I still haven't gotten through all of them. If you are looking for some straight reading through of some of the documents that dropped last week or this week, I read through 2 of them on my channel on like just a video that I uploaded. It's like 20 minutes long of me reading the motion for judicial notice that Dingus filed asking the judge to take notice of Gillespie's case. And then I also read through his additional motion asking the judge not to let Gillespie in the case.
Yeah, that
So
was
first
amazing.
he starts with, please take notice of this case and all the things in it. But on the other hand, don't let him testify, or Michael Maricini or Matt Mulvey.
How does that work into the free speech thing, by the way? Let's have free speech, but don't let these people speak in this trial. God, no. Please, no.
He's trying to get them kicked out as witnesses
Yeah.
on a technicality. I don't think it's going to work out for him. I'm not a lawyer. I can't really expound on this too much, only to say I don't think it's going to go well for him, that he on one hand wants the judge to look at the Gillespie case, but he doesn't want Gillespie to testify. So that's interesting. Speaking of Michael Maricini, though, we've got new documents today. Laura's lawyer is in a panic. He is in a total panic because Mike Maricini has dropped some documents that until today were not public through his case. There are emails that she sent to him, documents she said were medical records. And we have already, in just a couple hours, if you saw Dave Neal today, if you saw my stream today, we were crowdsourcing what happened with these documents. And let me tell you, in just a couple hours, we have found massive inconsistencies between her records from 2016, her records from 2022, and now her records from this year. Massive. I can show you just a little bit of that, but then also because Mike Maricini did that, Dingus goes off on Twitter and has an absolute heart attack, meltdown, and releases Mike Maricini's entire deposition,
Yes. Oh my God. I just downloaded that too.
claiming that he's going to win based on one sentence that Mike Maricini says in this
out of
deposition.
142 pages of it's a 142 page file. So it's like, all right. That
And
might
wait
be a
till we
fun.
get there.
Oh,
We have it. We're going to read it. Wait till we get there to the part that he thinks is going to win it for him, because he didn't bother to read a couple pages down after that.
Oops. Oops.
It doesn't say what he thinks it says.
Sometimes I'm like, does he read like what he posts? Because he's done that a few times now. He's like, oh, look at this, gotcha. And it's like, no, that's not what that says. That's not what that says at all.
He may have ADHD like me, and just he may have poor impulse control. I've gotten my impulse control problems under control, because for one, I'm medicated, but for two, during doing journalism as long as I have to control my impulses. I can't just release everything, that I have. I have to hold on to things until I go through the steps I need to take to verify things, etc. One thing I did want to say was I was told, and I didn't see it myself, so I don't know if this actually happened, but I was told that on Reddit today, there was some complaining about me following up with press inquiries to the doctor's offices with Mike Maricini's paperwork that he gave us with the alleged new documents from Laura that we haven't seen. And I just have to say, the hell are they talking about? I'm a journalist. This is my job. Now, those of you out there who are not journalists, who are not, who don't do this for a living, Do not call the doctor's offices.
No, that's
But
why,
of
like,
all
if
the people, for all the people to do it, that's my job. That's
yeah,
what I do every
if I need a
day.
press inquiry, I'm like, "Hey, Megan, could you, you
Right.
know, because that's what you do. I mean, shit."
If I didn't, it would be totally irresponsible for me to go forward with these documents and show them to you and be like, "Hey, look at this." If I hadn't done my due diligence
Yep.
and reached out to the person they were allegedly from to say, "Hey, are these real?" You guys, I can't give you information, and I would never suggest like spreading stuff around the internet if you don't know if it's real or not. And that's my job. That's what I do. That's what I do every day. My press inquiries are legendary. Let me tell you something about my press inquiries. Legendary. I've printed some of them. They are a good laugh. Now, these ones were very serious. I did send to Sutter Health. I sent in fact, I'll just read to you what my press inquiry was because this is very important. So, actually, Tug, should we bring up these documents to read them so people could understand why I'm calling and checking on them?
Yeah, I think so. That way people understand, like, this isn't just some kinda, nasty harassment or whatever they
Yeah,
wanna,
no, this is
yeah,
for
there's a
real. This is
point.
what journalism is, okay? So I'm going to share with you actually my Twitter screen so we can pull up these
Alright.
documents.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is one of the documents Michael Maricini released today to the press. This is from, it says, it purports to be from Sutter Health. Okay. Uh, to Laura Owens. Now, for those of you, when we read this, see if this looks like something that a doctor would send to you if you asked him to. This is from Dr. Rebecca Yee, purportedly on 8/25/2016. Hi, Ms. Owens. As you requested, here's a summary of what we discussed so you can share it with your boyfriend. I have also spoken to Dr. Chan to confirm that we are on the same page. You came into the office on 8/25/16 with symptoms of nausea and pelvic pain. Considering your procedure last week, we thought these could be symptoms of a complication. Blood tests ordered and confirmed elevated levels of HCG. Given that result, I ordered both a transvaginal and pelvic ultrasound. Ultrasound results confirmed a gestational sac that was not present on last week's scan. So it's estimated that you that you about 5 weeks pregnant. So we've got a lot of spelling errors in here too and omitted words. That you about 5 weeks pregnant with a new pregnancy, as that is the earliest it would show up. As you have been told, you have a severely tipped or retroverted uterus, which makes the aspiration and D&E procedures more difficult and less likely to be successful. Last week, it would have been impossible to remove this pregnancy as it had not attached. In addition, we have tried to treat you as conservatively as possible given your recent diagnosis of stage 1A ovarian cancer. I cannot speak for Dr. Chan, but I'm sure he would agree that your case is amongst the more difficult I have treated. At this point, Dr. Chan and I are both of the opinion that you need to give serious thought to what you're going to do with the new pregnancy. You have taken medication abortion pills recently that could potentially be harmful to the fetus. However, as you likely know, the nature of your condition makes it so that pregnancies in the future will be more difficult. There is an elevated risk that once one ovary is removed, he would need to remove the other and perhaps complete a full hysterectomy before you would necessarily be ready to have children. At that point, having children on your own would obviously be impossible. So I think you must take time to determine what you think is best. Should you continue your current pregnancy, it would be imperative that you are monitored extremely closely. Best regards, Dr. Yee. Now, here's another one. 8/31/2016. Yesterday, you received ovary removal surgery, ovarectomy on your right ovary, as well as a surgical abortion. Due to your recent medical history, I will wait to confirm pregnancy termination until blood work and a follow-up ultrasound are completed, although there were no complications during the procedure. As you explained to me, you have already experienced emotional side effects such as extreme fatigue, depression, and swings. These are
Streams, mood
streams,
streams.
mood streams. That's a great
I
name
like
for
that.
a night stream. We're having a
Yep.
mood stream.
Mood streams.
These are common, and I would ask your boyfriend to support you, to support your during recovery. I would ask your boyfriend to support your during recovery.
What?
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 Okay, those are just two of them. Now let's go over to the document that was allegedly sent, well, it was sent into court for Clayton Echard's case. This is from Laura Owens, expert, and this is an exam that was done in 2022 from Smile, Southwest Imaging. It's a scan that was done on her. I'm sorry, no, this one is MomDoc. This is MomDoc. This is her. She went in for a pap smear. Look down here where it says uterus. Normal position, normal contour.
Oopsie.
This is
Wait
in
a minute.
this January. Normal consistency, freely movable, no tenderness, thickening, no masses. Adnexa. Now, adnexa, by the way, is the medical term for ovaries, fallopian tubes, and ligaments. Without tenderness, mass, thickening.
Fallopian tunes.
I said tunes. I don't know what's going on with my tongue. Fallopian
I'm just
tunes.
like, what kind of music is that?
Look at what this says. Without tenderness, mass, thickening, fixation, or other abnormality. Wouldn't they notice if she was missing an ovary?
You would think they would.
You would think, but wait,
You
there's more.
know.
But wait, there's more. Here, Smile. Now here's a scan that she did on June 7th, 2022, supposedly. We should say allegedly for all of this, because who knows which medical records are real and which medical records are faked.
Wait, I know what happened though. I figured it out. Actually, when the
You did?
baby was absorbed, it became an ovary.
Magical
So actually, they're
ovary.
picking up a twin on there.
Look at this. This is dated 2022. So obviously after the ovarectomy, the alleged ovarectomy, which was in 2016. This is June 7th, 2022. This was, again, submitted to court in Clayton Echard's case by her expert. Uterus is present bilateral. That means two ovaries. Bilateral ovarian cysts and follicles are seen with some complex heterogeneous components in the left ovary measuring up to 5.1 centimeters. Notice how it doesn't say right ovary is missing, because it's not. It says
Maybe that's a
bilateral.
typo.
But then here it is again. Bilateral ovarian follicles with some complexity with the left ovary. Likely, so no complexity with the right one. Likely partially hemorrhage. No routine follow-up is recommended. So what is it, a vanishing ovary that just vanished and then came a reappearing ovary that came back? It got removed in 2016, according to this person, Rebecca Yee. You received ovary removal surgery of your right ovary. Also, Tug, have you ever been to the doctor? You know, if you called them and were like, can you send me a letter because my girlfriend doesn't
Yeah.
believe. Do you think they do it?
Yeah, probably not. You know, and my girlfriend's not being supportive enough. Can you tell her that while I'm having my appendix taken out that she needs to take care of me and make me chicken noodle soup and massage my feet? They'd be like, yeah, sure, baby, we'll do that. Yeah, no.
And that's not even the worst one. That's not even the craziest one. I didn't even put the craziest one on my Twitter because, yeah. I didn't even put it on there because I don't know. I was in a rush or whatever. I've been sending press inquiries all day. Okay, but let's look at the craziest one there is. Okay,
This is wild already. Yes, I'm ready.
are you sure you're ready? I'm not sure you're not ready for this. You and the chat.
I think I'm ready. But I'm probably not actually ready. Are you ready to show this?
I am ready.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. As you can see, this says Sutter Health, ovarian cancer, Owens, to Laura M. Owens from John Chung Kai Chan. Now, I did look him up. He's a real doctor and everything. He's not like a fake Muppet doctor or anything. But, let's read this, shall we?
Okay.
Dear Laura, thank you for your email. I don't know how do you get emails to your doctor's office? I couldn't even find this guy's email.
I've never had a doctor that was like, "Hey, just drop me a line." You know, I mean,
no, you can't email a doctor. Like
they don't want you to. doing that shit.
Do you know how long it took me to find an email to send to Sutter Health? Just for like, it took me like, I don't know, 15 minutes. There's no doctor emails.
Well,
You have to
because that
call the Sutter Health and then you're like, hey, I need to send an email about a press inquiry. Who do I send it to? And then they give you one, but they won't give you a doctor's email.
that encourages, very unhealthy attachments. So,
Right.
yeah, you don't do that.
No. Thank you for your email. I am sorry you are going through such a rough time right now, and will do my best to help you through it. So he's not only her doctor, but her therapist. I read the messages you sent me from your boyfriend and answer his questions. Stage, yeah,
What?
Tug, I know.
That's just straight like, "Oh, you sent a letter, and the letter was about your boyfriend, and I read it, and I'm gonna take the time out of my busy doctor day to answer your boyfriend's questions," so
Mhm.
he'll make you that chicken noodle soup for the soul.
Stage 1A is without a doubt considered to be a true cancer and something that we take very seriously. You are correct, Laura, that this cancer, like a doctor would ever say that. You are correct, Laura.
You are correct, Laura. You are the smartest person ever. Can I
That
brush
this
your hair and get that
that
thing
this
out of
ca-
it?
that this cancer is found only in one ovary. He is incorrect. Of course, I like this part. He is in your
He is
boyfriend. Your
incorrect.
boyfriend's a
He's a
fucking moron.
dumbass. I would like that
He's
better.
a total dumbass. He is incorrect in his saying that this means you just might have malignant cancer cells. Please tell him that yes, I have diagnosed you with real ovarian cancer, not something that just may be there. I am not sure what is meant by the message you forwarded that says I would only be diagnosing it if it were something other than stage 1A. That is a very real stage and simply means it has not spread beyond your right ovary. I recommend looking at the American Cancer Society's website for more information. In addition, you can let him know that your diagnosis and treatment has been complicated by your pregnancy, which is on its own has been extremely difficult and unusual. I would strongly encourage him to change his attitude and support you at this time. I sincerely hope things get better.
All the best.
He's like, "I'm not only a doctor, I'm also a Nigerian prince."
Did
Okay.
you catch on to all the best?
I like how he's when I read
All the
John
best.
Chung Kai Chan, I think like, and Kai Shek or something, it's like, wait a minute. Did you just pull a name out that you thought sounded good? Oh my God. I really
I
want to
mean,
see
he
this all.
exists. He
Yeah.
exists. I
I want
found
to
him.
see. I mean, if he wrote this, I will be very surprised. But hey,
Okay, but Dave Neal, man, is he doing some good investigative journalism work. So, and the community that's following this story, it's full of professionals. It's
right.
full of doctors and nurses and cancer pathologists and people who are like, fuck this bitch is crazy. And they are now starting to call in. So, Dave had a phone call today. Let me stop this and share another. Had a phone call with a doctor, a pathologist who called in to talk about this alleged cancer, oophorectomy and all of this stuff today. And I can play it for you. It's a
Okay, you
few
ready to
minutes,
share it?
but it's worth it. And you just tell me, Tug, if you want me to stop and so we can talk about, whatever.
Yeah, I'll cut in.
All
For
right.
sure. Okay, here we go. No sound. No sound.
Wait,
Yeah,
we're
there's no
sitting on
sound.
top of Dave. You could move us over to the left.
Yes, there's no sound yet either.
Oh, there's no sound?
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Oh, that's because
You muted it, maybe.
no, I shared a window instead of a browser.
Oh,
I pulled a Dave Neal. I pulled a Dave Neal and I shared the window instead of because I was on
dun, dun,
window instead of Edge tab.
dun.
There we go. Now you should be able to hear it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Let's back it up a few
Yeah, we had to
seconds.
not cover up Dave there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave.
Sorry, Dave.
Expertise Yeah, so my credentials, by the way, I'm an MD. I'm specifically a pathologist and been practicing for many years now. And what pathologists are is we're the doctors who actually receive the specimens and diagnose cancers in patients. And a lot of just as a little background, a lot of patients don't know about us. But anyone who's dealt with cancer knows about a pathology report. So I'm someone who would write that report.
So you essentially are looking at the raw data to see blood levels and things like that that might lead to someone being have cancer?
Yes. So pathologists are sort of doing all the behind the scenes lab work. But what happens is if a piece of tissue is taken out of a person, for example, even the contents that Jane Doe purports to have passed, often those tissues will get examined under a microscope to confirm what they are. So that can include, blood. We do look at blood. We look at all of those things. But so cancer is essentially our bread and butter with this stuff.
And so all we have here are these health documents. So based on what you're seeing here, what signs do you see that this isn't, or tell me, are there any signs that she's telling the truth based on what you've seen?
So I will say that if someone does have an elevated CA 125, which is something she has a document for, that is a marker for possible malignancies, but it's also a marker for other things as well. It's not definitive for cancer. However, if a patient had that elevated number that she has, then, or, purportedly had, it would make sense for imaging to then be done for the patient. And then imaging would look at, the ovaries, potentially see a mass or a tumor, but there would be no way to confirm it was cancer just from the imaging unless it had spread.
So surgery, you're saying it would have to be through surgery to know how much cancer there is and where it is?
Yes, especially for a 1A stage for ovary, because 1A by definition, and sometimes Roman numerals are used, by the way. So theoretically IA could be.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I Googled it. I said, well, this isn't really proof. I think I was the one mispronouncing it because I'm an idiot, but yeah.
Actually, you pronounced oophorectomy pretty well.
Oh,
It's a very bizarre.
Oh, appreciate it. I got, a broken clock is right twice a day. So.
Yeah.
Hey, can we pause for 1 second?
Yeah. So for
I got a cheese stick request.
Oh, cheese stick request.
Yeah. I have to.
Very
I
important.
can't hear while I'm cheese stick requesting.
What?
Yeah. I was like, well, I can mute, but I was like, wait a minute, I can't hear what's going on. So, oh, you thought that's funny too? You did? Okay. Yeah. She was like, you can't hear over me. Okay. Yeah. You need a cheese stick. Give me 1 second. These things are wrapped like a freaking Lord. I mean, you talk about kid proof. That's like dad proof. Here you go. All right. Don't shove all that in your mouth at one time. Hey. Don't chew like that. That's crazy. Okay. Hey, that's dangerous. You take your time. Okay.
Cheese stick money. Send cheese stick money, folks. Open up your wallets. Send cheese stick money. Yeah, I'm gonna write a new song called Cheese Stick Money.
Cheese stick money. Yeah, exactly. Gotta get that cheese stick money.
Oh my god, cheese stick money.
She's funny. I heard the door open. I was like, well, I'm sure something's happening. I thought it was a rocket pop or something, but no, it had to be the unwrappable cheese. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. Sorry.
All right, here we go.
Stage 1A, what that means is that the tumor is completely confined to the ovary. So for ovarian cancer specifically, it would be impossible to determine until the ovary is out. And that whole specimen, that whole ovary is sent to the pathology lab. They look at it and they see what kind of tumor it is. And then it is staged. So if these documents are claiming that they knew she had cancer before any surgery, that is just not possible.
And even if you thought it might be cancer, you just would never put this in this sort of email format that they have here.
No, that's a separate thing. Look, can I promise? Are there concierge doctors out there who cater to, especially emailing patients and things like that? Sure, but this physician is a highly specialized physician at Sutter Health, which is a San Francisco, hospital, and there's no way they would be communicating via email. They would keep it all in the portal. Very suspect that they would be talking about her boyfriend this much.
Yeah, no,
And
yeah. I mean, it's as far as
That's really
opinions
off.
go, it seems as though they are off.
Yeah, the boyfriend stuff is unbelievable.
It is. Now, somebody mentioned, now I do want to throw this in because, if anybody brings stuff up, I do want to say this. They said that their son is 10 with brain cancer. I'm sorry to hear that too, by the way.
Oh,
They
that's
say
terrible.
the autism, epilepsy, legally blind, and they do speak to the St. Jude oncologist and the local neuro-oncologist quite often through email. So I did want to note that. The problem
Well, I
with
think, like she said, there are doctors who will do this, like who
yeah,
are
but
more
this
boutique
specialized
type
doctor,
doctors. And I think when you're dealing with like childhood cancers, you're probably dealing more in that realm anyway. This is like, this just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem right. And that's why I'm following up with Sutter Health. So I'm going to drop Dave's link so you guys later can go and watch that entire interview with the doctor. It's really good. There's more to it. I just don't want to.
his streams are just good anyway. They're
Yeah, go and watch it and give him the click on it, and he definitely deserves that. But I wanted to there was something else too. So, so there's just like a 30-second clip I wanted to pull up before we get to the deposition, which we're totally going to get to.
oh my god,
Totally going to get to.
I
But I just want to
totally.
give a shout out to Liz Neptune for being so awesome and calling it so long ago. Now, we don't know if Laura has lied about this cancer thing. We don't know about that, but Liz did this video about why would someone fake a pregnancy, and she did some research on who are the types of people and why do they do these things that they do. And there's a very interesting part of this video. I would just want to play you like less than a minute so you can hear what she found.
There's a couple of these stories as well that I've heard about the fake pregnancy. There is usually some kind of fake cancer, some fake cancer diagnosis, or some kind of terminal illness or brain cancer or something like that. That they always end up having. And so all these people kept coming out, and it turned out that this woman was a huge fucking scammer. She would tell him like, yeah, my mom died, I need help for the funeral. She had him up for $45,000.
She's talking about the woman in Australia that I talked about the other day on Locals. She not only faked several pregnancies, but she faked cancers as well. So I just wanted to play that little clip and I dropped the link in the chat as well. Bookmark it and go watch this whole video. She made it a couple months ago, but it's really worth watching because she did some really good research about what types of women lie about pregnancies and why. And the fact that she found this correlation between faking pregnancies and also faking cancer is really something. So go and watch that video when you get a chance.
Pseudocyesis. Yeah.
Pseudocyesis. Yeah, that's what she did an entire video about it. And it's really interesting. So go and watch that. Give her a like and a subscribe, by the way, because Liz Neptune, she was attacked by Laura Owens. She had Laura Owens sent the Broward County Sheriff after her just for reporting on this story. Funny how she didn't try and come after me. She went after Liz, who is not only a woman of color, but she only has like 10,000 subscribers, right? So she goes after small people that she thinks she can intimidate. And she had the police call a Black woman and intimidate her on her behalf, this white woman of privilege. I'm sorry, but I can't get over it. I can't get over Laura Owens and her extreme privilege.
Now, pseudocyesis, don't patients have all the signs of pregnancy except for confirmation of a fetus versus
So yeah, there's a couple different types. It's the entire thing is not just all about pseudocyesis. It's basically going over what types of fake
Yeah.
pregnancy can there be. And there's, the pseudocyesis is one where your body actually tricks you into believing you're pregnant, so you have the symptoms.
Right.
But then there's also mental disorders, and then there's also just, liars.
Yeah.
And so she did an entire video, and the video is great. The video is great, and you should go and watch it. It's called "Why Would Someone Fake a Pregnancy" on Liz Neptune's channel.
Well,
I
I
have
had
dropped
a
the link.
I had a delusional client at one time that had lost a child that had, caused them quite a few issues. They had a lot of issues in their lives, and they had had a reality break, and that's much different from. And again, I'm not saying she's this is that either. I've never dealt with a client that has had that specific. I've only seen someone ever think that they were proud. Again, and we staff the place that I worked there. We staff different clients, so you would hear every client that comes across. And I mean, maybe other if you're dealing with specific types of clients all the time, but in general, just general mental health practice, that's not something you see pop across very often.
I wouldn't think so. I
Yeah.
would think that that's pretty rare. Yeah, it's a strange thing. It's a really strange thing. I have the transcript, by the way, of the deposition pulled up on if you're ready for that.
Oh yes, I am much ready for that. I
So
just
in
find the
a
mental health. Oh, here it is. I see it there.
in
Yeah,
a fit
I get I get interested in the mental health portions of this. And if you don't have you read about, there are so many things that people can have issues with that you can't remember everything that's out there. But I do find it fascinating when we run across something like this as part of the discussion. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and in a fit of total anger and freak out today because there's just more bad news for his client, the Douche Canoe Esquire attorney just dropped this entire deposition on us. This is the deposition of Michael Maricini, dated June 13th, 2018. He was purportedly one of Laura Owens's victims. He is the one that she did the TEDx talk about, if you recall, the TEDx
Oh
talk.
yeah.
Now, Tug, this is done well for us to do a reading of it because the lawyer happens to be a woman and and Michael Maricini happens to be a man. So I will read the question portion. You can read the answer portion. I have started it where it gets relevant. I have highlighted it. Wait a minute. Where are my highlights?
Woo!
There they
There we
are.
went. All right.
All right. Here
So
we go.
I'm the answer. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I get to do a regular
Oh,
voice
wait.
because we're not dealing with a
Because you're not
lunatic.
dealing with a lunatic. Yeah, okay. He was just talking about his work history. We're going to start right here.
Okay.
Have you ever been an employee of KGO Radio?
No.
Were you ever associated with KGO Radio in any way?
I mean, going in there to do interviews, and then I mean, I hosted with Laura. I'd say at least 10 shows.
And by the way, KGO is the radio station where her dad worked all those years in San Francisco. I cannot find any evidence that Laura Owens had a show there. So I don't know what he means by hosted with Laura. Maybe her dad let her host his program a couple of times when he wasn't in or something. Don't know. Just letting you know. Were you paid for hosting those shows?
Should I answer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I should answer. Okay, yes.
But you were never an employee of KGO Radio?
No. That's what the ultimate goal was to get a job with them.
Do you have any volunteer experience?
Yes.
Okay, where most recently have you volunteered?
Blue Heart International.
It's for women who've Oh, wait, and what is Blue Heart International?
It's for women who have been sex trafficked. So essentially, what they do is they shelter women, build them houses in Rescue, California.
And from what date to what date did you volunteer for Blue Heart International?
It's random. Essentially, what they do is they ask for volunteers, whether it's for a black tie function or if you're going to helping build, essentially like moving material from one side to another side to help them build.
When most recently did you volunteer for them?
Let's say a couple of years ago.
Any other volunteer experience?
I mean, no, I go to the SPCA and like pet dogs, but I wouldn't consider that volunteering.
All right. So far, we
I
found
pet
out
some
that Michael
dogs.
Maricini volunteers to help sex trafficked women,
Yeah,
and he goes to the pound to pet dogs. Sounds like a monster.
yeah. Terrible, terrible monster there. Phew.
All right. So now this was all about just his college. When did you meet Laura?
It was like April, maybe March of all these dates. It was March 2016, I would say. Yeah.
And how did the two of you meet?
We met on an online dating platform.
What was that platform?
I think it was Meet a Schizophrenic Online. No, I'm just kidding. It was Bumble. That was the name of the platform.
Okay. And can you explain that initial, how the two of you came to go
Yeah.
from, because I'm not familiar with Bumble. So if you can explain how that works, that would be great.
Yeah. So we said that she said that she was from Sacramento at the time. I think I was there visiting my family. She was doing a horse show. So we had our first date at a sushi restaurant in El Dorado Hills.
What she wants to know is how do you,
Oh, how do you communicate?
yeah, what is Bumble?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Wait,
explain
wait.
how.
Okay. Bumble is online, essentially a platform where you have a profile. You get a limited amount of pictures, maybe 4 or 5 photos, and then have like a little diagram about yourself, like a bio, and then that's it.
Okay, so are you certain that it was through Bumble that you met?
I think it was.
Were there other online dating?
Yeah, I wish I would have swiped right. No, I just sent it on there. I'm sorry. I just see so much I want to add in. Yeah, you're on multiple online dating platforms.
What other platforms were you on?
I was on Hinge, Unhinged. That's funny. That's
Unhinged sounds about right.
it does. Hinge. I was also on The League.
The League?
Yeah.
And what's the difference between Bumble, Hinge, and the League? Can you explain any kind of like,
I think they're just all a little bit different. Like essentially league pools, you have to be like accepted onto it. I don't know. Hinge, you have to be a mutual connection with somebody in order to essentially reach out.
okay.
So then Bumble is just a random assortment of individuals.
So how long would you say that you were involved romantically with Laura?
Year and a half, probably, I'd estimate. Like it was on and off for a year and a half, I would say.
So when was it off? When was your relationship finished?
Like no more communication. I would say I blocked her from everything in December 2017.
Remember, folks, look for the patterns. Look for the
Cha-cha.
patterns.
Yeah.
Again, another man has blocked Laura Owens from everything
Yeah.
in his entire life. So you dated beyond March of 2017.
Yeah.
Can you please explain to me how you characterized your relationship with Laura?
We were exclusive with one another. I would say we dated. I mean, I never used the term boyfriend or girlfriend with her, but we were exclusive with one another.
Why didn't you use the term boyfriend and girlfriend with her?
I thought that she was emotionally unstable. Exactly. And I was like, dating an emotional roller coaster. So I couldn't take that next step with her.
But you were exclusive with her?
Correct.
Okay, so when you say it was an emotional roller coaster, can you explain a little more about what you mean by that? And I just would like to point out that as an attorney, never, ever, ever ask a question you don't know the answer to.
It's like, yeah, she would take uppers and downers. Her
Holy
personality.
shit! Wait, she would
Uh,
take uppers and downers?
yeah. She was on the uppers. She was on the uppers and downers. We're not talking roller coaster.
So,
Her
like,
personality.
drugs here.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly. They're
Okay.
talking, yeah. They're talking about popping them pillage. Her
I
personality.
wonder if her attorney had any clue that she was going to get this answer.
I like that. Her personality, she'd be a sweetheart at moments where incredibly caring and generous, and other parts where she would have like manic episodes where she'd freak out and for no reason.
When did that first happen? Which event? When was there any type of emotional episode in your memory? When's the first time that happened?
It was peppered throughout the entire relationship, but I would say fall 2016.
Would you say that you and Laura had the same interest in having a committed relationship?
Yes.
So you would say you were equally interested in being committed with her as she was?
She was a lot more aggressive about wanting to be in a relationship. Aggressive. I like that term there, too.
Yeah.
I had told her.
There goes the motorcycles. Sorry, guys.
I told her,
Summertime.
no, not a motorcycle gang. They're coming to take him back to the relationship. I told her that if we were able to work out the kinks, that I could see a commitment in the future.
And what were those kinks that you wanted to work out before you wanted to be committed to her?
You know, like putting a pillow. Oh, wait, no, that's that. I mean, professional. That she needed to essentially have a stable life outside of me. I felt like everything was either her horses or me. Didn't really have a social life. Was always depressed. Would be on either Ambien or antidepressants or ketamine. Something along those lines.
When is the first time to your knowledge that Laura took ketamine?
Later in the relationship.
Okay, so would it be fair to say that she wasn't always on?
Yeah, but she was on other antidepressants.
Well, do you know when she was prescribed antidepressants?
They were always tweaking the dosage. I don't know. She was always switching, and they're in text messages, but I don't know the exact names of them.
Okay, so what would you tell Laura about? Oh, give me a second. No, that's not good.
Shit.
I love this.
It's like, well, I better not say that.
I imagine she whispered that to her associate. Give me a
Yeah.
second. Wait, no,
It's like,
that's
wait a
not good.
minute.
But the court reporter caught it. You mentioned that you wanted to work out the kinks.
Yes,
Would you communicate that to Laura?
absolutely.
What would you say to her?
That we need to take it day by day. And if we can have more pros than cons, then we have a future together.
Was there a point at which you no longer wanted to be in a committed relationship with Laura?
Yeah.
And when was that?
It was, I mean, on and off. But like when I finally pulled the plug was, I think, in November, December 2017.
And what happened when you pulled the plug?
I blocked her from everything.
Did you communicate with her?
Absolutely.
Sorry, let's wait for the tram. Look, they had a motorcycle problem. Let's wait for the motorcycle to go by. How did you communicate with Laura that you no longer wanted to be in a committed relationship with her in November or December of 2017? Or 16, 17? I don't know. Oh, sorry. Let's just skip down to the yellow.
What a jerk, you cut me off. No, wait a minute. Yeah, 2017. I had a phone conversation with her.
And what did you say during that phone conversation?
That I didn't think that we were right for each other. And she was pretty. She started crying. She said that she would do anything to make it work. And I just finally kind of hit my wits and with everything and decided we just had to move on. I wanted to remain friends, but at the same time, I knew it wasn't going to be healthy if we were to remain friends. So that's why I blocked her from all social media and phone and everything.
Doesn't sound like he was stalking her, does it?
No, it sounds like he was like,
Trying to get
he
away.
initiated the breakup. He
Mhm.
blocked
he
her off
blocked
of
her.
everything. Yeah.
How do you start stalking somebody if you've blocked them on all social media
So okay, so she probably found the other. I got thinking about this. So the
Yeah.
lady or the other, she's still tracking other people in relationships. That seems to be par for the course. She's still trying to make contact with people around them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we've seen that repeatedly. So
Right.
that's a one-sided thing about the blocking, it sounds like. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
What else did the two of you discuss during this phone conversation in November or December of 2017?
She wanted to come over. She said she would do anything to have me come over. I said, no. And then she said that she only wanted the absolute best for me because I deserved it. I said the exact same thing for her. I thought she deserved it. And we kind of got off the phone from there.
Did you discuss anything else at all during that conversation?
It was like a breakup conversation. We didn't carry it out for a long period of time. It was pretty short. I'd say 5 or 10 minutes.
Would you be able to find a record of that phone call?
If the carrier does it, then absolutely.
Okay. And then they're talking about the call duration. Okay. How would you characterize Laura's relationship with your sister, Stephanie Maricini, while the two of you were dating?
I think they were friendly toward one another. They would have, my sister went to a couple of her horse shows. They were friendly. I mean, they lived like a block apart from one another, a couple of blocks from one another. That explains a lot. There's our question about where the sister lived, you know?
Right. So they're literally a block away. They live in the
Yeah.
same neighborhood. So, of course, they're going to be out at the same restaurants and the
Yeah. So
same
the
gyms.
so the stalking actually, yeah, visiting sister. That's what he kept saying, you know. So they would chat. We went to dinner a couple of times, but they would mostly chat via text and phone calls.
Okay. How often would you say that Laura hung out with your sister while you were dating?
Over the whole length of our relationship,
Yeah. Was it like, for example, once a week on average or,
that's vague.
oh, vague? Spend time in person with one another?
Probably 10 times.
10 times total.
Yeah, give or take a couple.
Are you sure?
Oh, I mean, sorry. I wouldn't say they didn't hang out very often. I would say, if anything, once a month.
Okay. That's fine. Would they spend time, to your knowledge, with each other outside of your presence?
Yes, they went to a horse show together.
How would you characterize Laura's relationship with, I believe it's your sister's fiance,
Yeah,
or Colin Scanlon,
correct.
and describe what that relationship was like?
They didn't really have a relationship. He witnessed a conversation one night, and then I think we went out to dinner a few other nights. So he rarely ever saw her. But the one conversation that he did take witness to was Laura's father, Laura and me, like in December 2016, having a very serious conversation
Okay, what was that? What was the nature of the conversation?
about Laura lying.
Okay, lying about what?
Essentially a pregnancy, an abortion, and saying that she was creating these stories and her dad was there to essentially talk to me. And I wanted someone there for my side to witness what I was going through.
And you called Colin to serve as that witness?
Yeah, I wanted a non bias, someone that's not part of the family to make sure that I'm not going crazy, that I was essentially hearing them correctly. That's wild to see
It
there
is.
too. I need somebody outside of all of this because I mean, I've got to be going crazy to be part of it. Oh, that's something. And that's
Well,
why
the gaslighting in this case, though, is off the charts, and you see it. You see it in the text messages. She has an answer for everything.
yeah,
Every
she's definitely poison. I mean, but it's created. It's arts and crafts discussion as a certain lawyer, talks about this stuff. So,
Mm.
and that's why I had him come because he's level-headed and he's not biased.
And so, did he witness the entire conversation
Yes,
that night?
he did.
Okay, and what were the lies? The alleged lies, I mean, that Laura told?
She said that she did have an abortion, and she didn't. She said that, and we were talking everything about suicides, that she wanted to commit suicide. We talked about other lies that she said was about her pregnancy for the second time. She lied about that, and her dad confirmed that. She then went into talking about her antidepressant medication, and her dad was just there to essentially tell me that what was then going on had to stop. And what he meant by that was her lying.
When you say she lied about the pregnancy, what specifically did she lie about?
She said that she was pregnant twice over the course of like 4 months, maybe 5 months. Wow. Wow.
You cannot get pregnant no, and have come on. With PCOS?
Ugh,
All
Lordy.
right.
And
I'm
it
sorry.
wasn't true. she would go in to have essentially an abortion with no pregnancy. So she would go in. Would she actually go in to have? Yeah,
That's what he
yes. That's what
said.
that's wild.
And did you go with her?
To one of them, yeah. I wasn't allowed back in the room, but I went with her to the doctor's office
Okay, for her abortion?
for her abortion. Yes.
Okay, did you ever receive how did you know that she went in for a second abortion?
Did you ever receive? Yes, I had the abortion.
I had one too.
I too was carrying her child. Wait, what?
We called them Houdini's twins. And
Yeah, they kept switching our wombs. It was really crazy because I found out that babies could indeed be lodged in your tonsils.
Jenny Mounts in the chat says, "Did her lawyer think releasing this was a good idea?" Yes.
Yes, he's celebrating it. Ha ha ha!
He's like,
Yes.
"Haha, look, I win. I
Yeah.
win." We're not quite at the place where he thinks he's won yet. When we get there, I will make sure I tell you. And in fact, when we get to the part where he wins, I'm gonna get a button ready for it. Let's see. What button? I'm gonna hit a button to show you that he won. We'll use the dun 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 button, okay?
He's a winner. I mean, a winner. Okay, so let's see. For the second abortion, she would tell me.
Okay, what did she say? What did she tell you?
Well, this
The
was
lawyer is
like
now getting interested. The lawyer's like, "What? Well, what did she tell you? What did she say?"
she's like, I'm gonna write a novel about this.
This might be when the lawyer starts figuring out that her client is nuts.
She's like, I want to monetize this shit. Twin conspiracy, baby. This was like the final straw is when she said that she had an abortion and she never did. So she said that she went in afterwards and took a pill, essentially, is what she told me.
I'm sorry. And this was for the first or the second pregnancy?
I was, yeah, I get the two, like, I guess mixed up because this was in December. So it'd be the second pregnancy.
Okay.
I do get the two of them confused, though. So,
Okay, then they take a quick break and then they come back. So, how would you thank you for sharing how you characterized Colin's relationship with her. How about your relationship with Laura's parents? What was that like?
really good. I thought like her dad and I we seemed like we were very cordial with one another. Her mom, every time I would see her, I'd give her a hug. Saw them more often than I would say that she met my family because they lived here in the city and they would go out to dinner every night. So I would see them often.
Okay, and would you go out for dinner with Laura and her parents?
Yeah, quite often, yeah.
Did you ever interact with her parents independently of Laura?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we would text every once in a while.
And how about Laura's relationship with your mother?
My mother went to a horse show. She went out to dinner a couple of times with us, but it was pretty minimal.
Okay, so would you say that they had a relationship independent of you?
No.
Okay.
I think they would text every once in a while, though.
Okay, let's take a quick break. And we're back. So I just want to ask you a couple of clarifying questions about things we've already covered. One of those was you mentioned that you were paid for hosting on KGO. How much time were you paid for doing that? Or how much were you paid for doing that?
More than $1,000, less than 2,000. I don't remember exact amount.
Is that per show?
No, that was over the course of Laura paid me, but it was over. She said she was getting paid by them like $250,000 a year. And since I hadn't been, that's crazy. So he's getting like,
Now we know where she gets all her lawyer money.
so he's getting like 1K to 2K, and she's getting 250K.
50.
Wow.
250 a year for doing what? Living in the casita, brushing the horses, and occasionally hosting the show 10 times. 250 grand. Try to wrap your head around that.
You ever want to adopt a sentient umbrella? I'll hang
You
out in the
can
hat
put him
rack.
in a hat rack. I was just going to say that. You
I'll
can
just
put him
hang
in a
out
hat
there,
rack.
hanging out in the hat rack. Now I'm making big stacks. Yeah.
Wow.
And since I hadn't been paid, and I'd been putting in hours that she wanted me to get paid for my time until the contract was done with them.
So you were never paid by KGO.
No,
You were paid by Laura.
correct.
Okay. What else did Laura pay you for during the course of your relationship? Did she pay you for other things?
Like, just give me money? No.
Did she pay you for performing other jobs or tasks?
Tasks. Performing other jobs? No.
Phrasing?
Tasks? Wait.
Vague. Did you receive compensation from Laura for work for anything other than hosting on KGO?
No.
Okay, I want to ask you a couple more questions about this issue around Laura's pregnancy and abortions.
Okay.
How long had you been dating her when she became pregnant?
I don't remember.
Do you remember, well, when do you remember her as being pregnant?
I remember it going on for a long period of time. It felt like eternity, but I think it was only a couple of months.
Everything with this woman feels like an eternity. Welcome to the club, sir. I feel like I've been reporting in this case 7 years ago.
7 twins ago.
We have been reporting on this case. It's been 72 years. I'm like the woman on the Titanic, you know, when they're like at the end of Titanic. It's been so long. Oh, I know how you feel, Mike. I know how you feel. Hey, by the way, if Michael Maricini's in the chat tonight, shout out to you, brother. Sorry you went through this.
How's it going,
This sucks.
It does. It does, man. It sucks that you have to lay bare your life too, because somebody uses you as an example of tragic crazy. Maybe, I think it was fall 2016, somewhere around there, maybe earlier, maybe later.
Okay. Did you ever watch Laura take a pregnancy test?
No.
Were you ever with her when she took a pregnancy test?
She sent me a photo of her taking a pregnancy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't worry. She was just licking the lollipop. She wasn't. Or she sent me a photo of the results of the pregnancy test.
But you were not. Were you in the same? Where were you when you received that photo?
I was out to dinner with friends.
You were out. Oh, who were you with?
At the time, I think I was Kyle Libby, one of Actually, and Ryan Hughes. Maybe it was Kyle Libby and Colin Holly. Phonetic. So yeah, they're going with the phonetic spelling. Sorry, those were the two guys.
What was your reaction when you found out Laura was pregnant?
Shocked, I'd say.
Shocked. And how did you feel about the pregnancy?
I thought we were two. I remember it was pretty early on in our relationship, so I felt like neither of us were ready for a child together.
And did you tell Laura how you felt?
Yes.
What was her reaction?
She was a little hesitant at first, but she agreed, especially after the dinner with her family.
And what happened do you remember when that dinner with her family was?
No, I remember the location, but I don't remember the timeline of when it was.
Okay, what was the location?
North Beach restaurant.
And what happened during the dinner with her family?
Her family, both her mom and dad appreciated my honesty, and they said she should also go through with it. And they respect any decision that we both came to, though.
And when you say they appreciated your honesty, what was it that you told them?
I told them that I didn't think either of us were ready for a child, and that I think we should abort the child. If this was further down the relationship, then it's a possibility that we would most likely keep it.
Was there anything else that you told her parents about the pregnancy or your relationship with Laura?
I just said we weren't ready. I mean, I don't remember the exact wording.
Okay, so when you say they appreciated your honesty in regards to what?
Just giving my forthright opinion to them. Most people would not be. They would just say, I'm going to support whatever decision your daughter chooses. And then once you have the daughter in a different room, you essentially, maybe you would say, like, hey, I don't think we should go through with this. I was upfront with them saying, I don't think we should go through with this. And I don't think many people would do that.
And was Laura's opinion about, or what did Laura tell her parents during that dinner about wanting to keep the baby or not?
She also said she said it would be the best decision for her and us, but that it would be sad having to get an abortion. She was sad about it.
Did you know that Laura had a medical condition that may have made it difficult for her to get pregnant in the future?
Yeah, she said she had polycystic ovaries. Correct? I think that's what she said.
And did she explain to you that that was part of why she was conflicted about keeping the child or not?
People have children all the time with polycystic ovaries. So she said it was a concern, but it wasn't like a life deterring thing. We kind of brushed over it because my sister also had it.
So she shared with you, though, that she was conflicted about terminating the pregnancy.
She said, I mean, I think it would be saddening for anybody. So, yes.
Speaking of being sad, chat, I will be very sad if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button on this dramatic reading that we're putting on here for you. This dramatic reading is just so dramatic. It's the most dramatic reading ever in the history of The Bachelor. Wait, this isn't The Bachelor. Well, it's Bachelor adjacent, though. It's Bachelor adjacent.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So the chat gives a summary. Have you seen the AI summaries it gives? You know?
Oh,
Have you seen it?
yeah.
Okay, so the chat summary, it says people are talking about how long it has been since someone was licked by a dog. They were also talking about how the person who was licked is now pregnant.
Listen, chat, I'm
Mm.
having the babies if you don't hit the like and subscribe. If you don't hit the like and subscribe right now, I'm having the babies tonight. Having the babies. If you don't hit like and subscribe and send that breadstick money.
That is the actual description it put up there. Oh my God.
Chat, why are you talking about someone licking a dog? I don't
How did they get
understand.
pregnant? Did they get pregnant from the dog licking
Was it
him?
the dog?
I'm
Speaking of
confused.
dogs, by the way, I was buying my husband a birthday present. It's his birthday today. And I was over at this like lumber store and I was buying these gigantic pieces of, I don't know, these wood things for him to work on his lathe or whatever. But I pulled it and there's this dog that's just like wildly running around at this lumber store. And the dog greeted me at the car, but he was kind of barking under his breath. So I was like, is this a friendly dog? And I'm like, I don't even know. So I get out of the car and I'm walking towards I'm trying to like get around. The dog's fine, but the dog is like super, like right next to my legs. And so I let my son out of the car because I figure, well, it's a Weimaraner. The dog seems to be friendly or whatever. And she was, but she was like too friendly. So I'm walking towards the door and I'm not looking down at my feet. I'm looking towards the door and I trip on something and I almost fall and face plant on the cement. It's the dog. The dog walked in front of me while I was walking, which was such a weird thing for a dog to do. Like, dogs will normally walk next to you. Like, they rarely walk in front of you. Like,
The dog was like, "You going down, Megan.
man,
You
I
going
hit
down."
my foot hit the dog and I like hard because I was walking, so like I basically kicked this poor dog. Headline tomorrow: Megan Fox kicks dogs. And I was like, holy crap, man! Like, what's with your dog? Like, what? She's cute and everything, but if I was an elderly person, I could have broken a hip. You know?
Like, is that a dog or a soccer ball? Jeez.
God, it was terrible. I felt so bad too because like I really whacked it.
Yeah, that
Without.
laugh really made it sound like no, I'm just laughing.
She was a sweet dog, but I found out she's really still kind of a puppy. She was only like 2 years old. So I'm like, oh, well, that explains it. Like, you need to calm down. And then while I was in the store, the dog was still by my legs and she kept scratching my leg to get my attention. And I'm like, dude, stop it. I love dogs, but I did hug the dog. I was petting her and everything. But then she took her claws and started clawing my leg.
Oh no.
Like, you got to train your dog if you're going to let her run around your store. You got to train the dog not to claw the customers. Just saying.
My
Just
daughter,
saying.
my oldest daughter is terrified of dogs. She had a bad experience with dog, and oh, I hate it when a dog will come running up, because I don't have any problem with dogs, but she's terrified, so I have to step in front of her no matter what. It's when she was little, she had a mean dog tried to attack her,
Ooh.
and yeah, I got, I'm luckily, is there, but oh my God.
Well,
Like
that dog I met today is lucky Christy Gnome wasn't shopping. She would have been like straight to the gravel pit with you. Straight to the gravel pit, 22 to the head. That's what she would have done.
I saw that. I was like, why
Can
would
you
you
believe
write a
that crap?
freaking book like that? I mean, I live
A
in
14-month-old dog?
I live in the middle of nowhere, okay? I mean, I've lived in the stick. Like here's not as sticksy, but I've lived in the middle of nowhere. No animal control, no nothing. So there are terrible times where sometimes you have to deal with a situation yourself. Okay. Having said that, I would never brag about that. I would
Right. It's a
never do.
weird thing to write
It's a
about it.
horrible situation to be in.
Especially because she
It's
was like, I hated that dog. A 14-month-old puppy you hated?
yeah.
It's kind of hard to hate a dog. And if the dog is chasing and killing chickens, for one, that doesn't mean that he'll always do that. I have chickens. I have a dog. I have a dog who likes to chase chickens and would really like to kill one. He's already gotten a mouthful of feathers in his, and like plucked feathers out of one of them. But like, you train them not to. You
Yeah,
train
you
that,
gotta
like,
train
you're
it.
gonna have setbacks, and sometimes a dog might kill a chicken before you train it right.
Well,
But
she's
you
also
don't just
supposed
like,
to be training hunting dog, and when the dog like if you're taking it out and it's doing that, and then you have failed in training the animal because the animal, for what when you're taking it out, it's either spotting, retrieving, whatever. It's not supposed to be, devouring. So she needs to do
right?
a
So
better job.
maybe that dog wasn't cut out to be a hunting dog, but it could have been a very good family pet. Like, she should have surrendered that dog. Taking a dog to a gravel pit and shooting it is really extreme. And she claims, well, he tried to bite me because I broke him up. I grabbed his collar while he was killing chickens. I'm like, oh, you grabbed the collar of a dog that was in the
Yeah,
middle
well,
of
I
a
was in the
killing
middle of
frenzy,
yeah.
and
I
you
mean,
think
we've
it's weird he lunged at you?
I mean, we would get wild dogs. And you have to put them down. They would attack livestock. They'll kill cows. If you get them
Yeah.
together. And I mean, I've had some crazy stories with that. But that's not the stuff I talk about because it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible that people will drop
We're
off their
triggering the
animals and
chat.
put them
I'm
through that.
sorry,
So,
chat. I'm sorry, chat. I know it's a horrible story, but I just want to point out I used to like Christy Nome, but after hearing this story, I'm just like, somebody
I
needs
think
to
it's a good.
drag her to the gravel pit.
I think it's a good time because, this person. I mean, they didn't see a problem in listing all of that, and I thought, I mean, it trended. It was a big topic. It was a
Oh, it's
huge
gonna
topic in
kill
the
her
media,
her
and
political
yeah,
career. Do you remember when Mitt Romney got busted they killed his political career for putting his dog in a kennel on top of the car? And he didn't even kill the dog. The dog was just riding on the top of the car, and people thought that was terrible. I thought that was a stupid thing to get mad about because the dog probably loved it. You know how dogs love wind.
Right.
So I thought that was a really stupid thing to go after somebody for because the dog wasn't harmed. There were no problem. It's not like the dog cage fell off the car. He didn't drag the dog behind the car like the Griswolds or anything. So, but that killed his political career. This, if she's never coming back from taking a
No.
puppy to a gravel pit. No, never. Her it's over.
I just couldn't believe. I was like, you wrote about that, really? But anyway, okay. Anyway,
All right.
back to
Sorry,
that.
chat.
Where was
Sorry, I got derailed by my dog story and almost kicking that dog
it?
today. I didn't mean
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
An
Megan got
accidental
derailed.
kicking.
Megan got derailed. I know. Shocking.
All right. So Laura, I'm not clear about, is it your position that she wasn't actually pregnant?
I don't think she was pregnant 2 times. I think one of them was a made up story. I think one may or might have been legitimate.
We have now reached the part of the deposition that David Dingus thinks is going to win the whole case for him.
This is it right here.
And can I just point out that we have never said Laura Owens has never been pregnant in her life. Maybe she was at some point. I don't know. The medical records don't seem to be real or anything, but nobody's ever said she's never been pregnant. We've said we don't believe most of her pregnancy stories, including this one with Clayton Echard. But anyway, let's keep reading because it doesn't say what he thinks it says.
Okay, so the first
Which
time.
one
Which one? Oh, go ahead.
do you think was legitimate?
The first time.
And why do you think she was pregnant the second? Why do you think she was pregnant the second time?
I think she did that to keep me around because I think she was going through a lot at the time. She said her dad was terminally ill. She said that she was having suicidal thoughts. I think this was like a way of essentially trying to another item to keep me attached to the relationship.
Can you give me a rough estimate as to when the second pregnancy was?
I would say fall or winter of 2016, somewhere in that time frame. She said that she legitimately was pregnant twice over the course of 4 or 5 months.
Earlier, you said she lied about the abortion.
Yes.
So are you saying that she was pregnant the first time and then
I don't know.
she had an abortion, but then she lied about being pregnant the second time?
So when we met up with her father, he said that she had lied about having the abortion. So I don't know. Looking back, I don't know what timeline, what pregnancy was that, what abortion was that. It was always.
But you do believe that she did have an abortion?
Maybe on the first go around. I don't know. I still, to this day, don't think she was pregnant.
Well, there it is. He thinks he's going to win because Michael Maricini said in a deposition that he believed she was pregnant the first time. And then a page later, he's like, I still don't believe she was ever pregnant.
Whoops. Oopsie.
So you don't think she was pregnant at all?
I don't think she was pregnant because of all the stories. The timelines never made sense. So looking back now, at the time, I definitely thought she was pregnant. Looking back now, I don't.
So here he's saying, looking back now, I don't. So what he was saying in the deposition was, at the time, I believed that she was pregnant one time. Now, looking back, I don't. How he thinks this is going to help him? He thinks that Michael Maricini believed she was pregnant. I guess he didn't read the rest of this. He read only up to that point, and then he quit reading. Because this only gets worse. Okay, so I just want to be 100% because I thought earlier you said you did think she was pregnant one of those times. So is your story that you don't think she was ever pregnant?
If she was ever pregnant, I believe it was the first time, but looking back now, I don't know if she was ever pregnant. So at the time, I don't know how to give you a clear answer on this because at the time, I thought she was pregnant both times because I'm not going to go and study the timelines of pregnancy and do everything like that. But looking back now, I think one of the pregnancies or both were made up.
Okay. So you also don't think she had an abortion.
Correct.
Did you and Laura ever talk about what would happen if she kept the baby?
Yeah,
And what was your position on that?
I said that having a baby isn't going to keep the two of us together. If that's what she's trying to do by that, then that's not like a guarantee to keep me around. I cared about her for her, not if she's pregnant or not.
And what about your willingness to be involved with the child if she were to decide to have it? Did you discuss that?
If she decided to have it, what do you mean?
Yeah. Had she decided to keep the child, did you talk about whether you would be involved in the child's life at all?
She would always give me ultimatums of if I keep the child, if I don't keep the child, will you stay
Having the
around?
babies if I don't hear from you tonight.
And if I keep the child, will you leave? She was always giving me those ultimatums. And I would always say to her the same thing. I'll stay around with or without a child, meaning I will stay in the relationship with or without a child.
But my question was, did you discuss whether you would be part of the child's life if she had the baby?
I just said I would stay in her life with or without the child.
Did you specifically discuss whether you would want a relationship with the child?
We're talking about if she was to keep it, would I have a relationship with the child?
Yeah, did the two of you discuss that?
I don't remember.
All right. Did you ever go? You said you went with Laura to have an abortion.
Uh-huh.
Where was that?
Planned Parenthood in Walnut Creek.
And who made that appointment at Planned Parenthood in Walnut Creek?
She did.
She did. So she called them and scheduled that appointment?
Yeah, because she knew I was working out there, that it would be closer if I went with her to be there for support.
Okay. In your response that you filed, you stated that you tried to work things out for the purposes of her mental and emotional stability.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if you read the text messages to and from her parents, they said, do whatever it takes to keep her alive. So during certain times, she would be suicidal. And
How many times was she suicidal?
over the course of months, I don't know.
Over the course of what? Can you give me the time frame from the first time that you ever directly witnessed her being suicidal?
Yeah, I would say fall 2016 all the way up until early 2017.
How many times did you witness her being suicidal or threatening suicide? Vague. How many occasions that you can remember did she threaten to commit suicide?
Multiple times, probably around 5. I mean, but it would be random because, like, I would be sitting at work and she would send a text to her sister's boyfriend, and myself saying that she was calling herself a piece of shit and nobody cares about her and that she wants to end her life. So, like, I don't know. Is that considered like a suicidal thought? Or do I have to be with her in that moment? I mean, which one are you asking me?
I guess I'm interested in knowing how many times Laura expressed to you that she was considering taking her own life.
Multiple times. So yeah, probably then 5 to 10 times.
So the first time that you felt, when was the first time you felt that Laura was mentally unstable?
Fall 2016.
I'm sorry, what?
Fall 2016. I just saw like that was the first like manic, maybe it was earlier, maybe it was July 2016. So it's really early on in the relationship.
And what do you mean by manic? Do you have any medical or mental health training?
Do I have any mental health training? No.
So what do you mean when you say that she was manic?
Somebody essentially freaking out for no reason, I would say. There was little to no reason to freak out, whether it would be me not being able to make it over a certain night or not being able to see somebody. And she would then accuse me of cheating or doing something with somebody else. And then she would get her dad on the phone. He would calm her down. She'd get her mom on the phone. She'd calm her down. That's what I'm saying when I say manic.
How strange for an adult relationship. Can you imagine being like dating someone and you have to get her parents on the phone to calm her down?
She's on uppers, downers, ketamine and shit. I mean, good Lord. She's probably talking to the little people in the walls. Her and fucking Lynette probably get
And
together.
Lynette.
Yeah, they'll probably get together at the Jokalist. It gives them
Oh
mental health
God.
sessions.
There's like, yeah, they're chasing people around the trailer park. There's people in the walls, people in the walls. Okay, the first time that you witnessed that, when?
I'd say July, like around July, summer 2016.
And specifically in the summer of 2016, you witnessed her, and just let me know if I'm getting this wrong, but you witnessed her getting upset because you didn't do something?
I mean, she was getting upset for a multitude of reasons. I'm just throwing out a random example, but yes, there was always a ridiculous reason as to why she was getting upset.
How frequently between July 2016 and I think you said that it went through early 2017 did you witness these episodes of
We're talking about suicidal episodes, right?
No, I'm talking about what you're referring to as these manic episodes.
Oh, the manic episodes went all the way up till late 2017. So he's saying the whole relationship, just to put that in perspective.
Yeah.
But the suicidal ones I'm talking about ended in early 2017.
So I just want to I want to understand all the reasons why you think she was mentally unstable. So there was a manic, what you describe as manic episodes,
Yeah.
and there were Laura's discussion of wanting to take her own life. Are there any other reasons why you think she was mentally unstable, other than the suicide and the manic episodes?
Well, I'll tell you this example. I remember this clearly. July 2016. It was the anniversary of my father's death. I couldn't make a black tie event that night because I was with my family and friends celebrating the anniversary of his life. She was incredibly pissed off because I didn't show up for dinner, though. I gave her plenty of warning. That's shitty, by the way. That is very shitty.
Oh God, it's
I'm
terrible. This is
celebrating the life of my deceased father, and I couldn't make her dinner.
and she's screaming at him.
I gave her plenty of warning, a couple of days, and she decided to call me crying, told me how upset she was, and then essentially would be pissed off. And to the point where I had my friends on, she was on speakerphone, and I had my friends listening as well.
Okay, but you're describing
I'm describing like one, you asked me for an example of one example, right?
so that's an example of why you think she's mentally unstable?
Well, if you would have seen her screaming, yes, you would think that because I didn't show up to a black tie dinner, that I gave her a warning that I wasn't going to make it to.
Okay, from July 2016 through, let's say, July 2017, did you tell Laura that she should seek mental health treatment?
Can you repeat the dates?
Yeah, between July of 2016 and July of
A year.
2017.
Did I tell her to seek treatment then? I don't remember.
Did you ever tell her to seek mental health treatment?
Both her family and I thought it would be good for her in December. Yes, she got admitted to an inpatient therapy.
Did you ever go see her at this inpatient facility?
No,
How do you know she was admitted to an inpatient facility?
her mom texted me.
But you have no personal knowledge that she was admitted to an inpatient facility?
This is such a fucked up thing right here, too. No, I went off her mom's word.
What happened in December of 2016 around the incident that you're describing?
She was suicidal. She wanted to end her life she wanted her life multiple for, I don't remember the exact reason, but she wanted to end her life.
And were you with her? Did she tell you that directly?
I was with my family, so she told me on the phone, yeah.
And what was your response?
I mean, I don't want somebody to die on my watch, so I wanted to talk to her, calm her down, and her father would text me, say whatever you have to say to keep her alive. So I did whatever I could to keep her alive.
Did you ever tell Laura that she needed to be medicated?
She was already medicated. I told her that she should adjust medications, and they would always say that as well.
Who's they?
Her parents.
When did you tell her that she needed to adjust her medications?
When I would see her go from very happy at a dinner to very unhappy at the end of dinner, or at like an hour after for no apparent reason, we were watching TV show. So
What is, to your knowledge, when is the first time Laura was on medications?
she was pretty upfront about it from the very beginning. I'd say, I mean, she said she'd been on it forever. I mean, not forever, but she said she'd been on it for a long time. She'd been taking Ambien for years and years. She said that she was, what's the antidepressant? Prozac. She said she takes Prozac. She told me that she would take antidepressants. So she was always upfront about taking medications.
Do you have a history of mental illness?
No.
So is there any other reason that you think she's mentally unstable? That's not enough for you, lady.
Is there any other reason I think she's mentally unstable?
Let's
Is
see.
that
We've
your
talked about
question?
suicide, committal, manic episodes, and all these drugs, and you need more reasons? Okay. Is that your question? Yes. Other than the manic,
Uh,
other than the
other-
medications, what you describe as manic behavior and the suicide, the references to suicide that she made.
She'd go into severe depression, and she'd go from wanting to kill herself to incredibly happy. The next day, like nothing happened. So, I mean, over the course of our relationship, there were a lot of manic episodes. So, I don't know how to answer your question, I guess.
And was that all following the pregnancy?
No. I mean, are you asking, was she in depression before the pregnancy?
Objection. Vague as to what we're talking about. I'm sorry. Was the depressive episodes that you just mentioned, did all those take place after the pregnancy?
No.
This is not going well for her lawyer. by the
No,
way.
this is going very poorly.
What would you say, Tug? Have you seen people behave like that where they could be
Mhm.
suicidal one day and then the next day act like nothing happened?
Yes. Mhm. Yeah,
What do you call that? What does
Well,
that look like?
it depends on, I mean, are they legitly expressing suicidal ideation? Are they just doing this? Is it attention-seeking behavior? Crying for help? I mean, is it there are a lot of reasons why people could do that. I mean, you'd have to sit down with them in a clinical
Well,
setting.
have you let me ask you this. Have you ever seen anybody who had legitimate suicidal ideation that acted in that way?
Yes, sure.
Okay. I've never seen this, so I don't know. I'm just
I have on and
genuinely
off.
like,
I mean, you have people that are there could be other untreated items. You could have medication issues that could be causing something like this. And when I
sure.
say medication, I'm not talking about medication that's specifically given to her by a provider. I'm talking about she could be self-medicating. People got to understand we all have coping skills. Not all coping skills are positive. Like, for example, if you're pissed off and you punch a wall, that's a coping skill. That is not a positive coping skill. That is one you need
Right.
to unlearn. You need to
You might
replace
beat
it.
up some cabinets.
Yeah, you might I don't know, you might karate chop the futon. I don't know, whatever. I mean, but there are people in trying for help. They may use the same. They may
Uh-oh.
go do. They may not be
Oh my
expressing it.
gosh,
Anyway.
it's Tug Robot.
Oh my God! Did I robot?
Tug Robot. Oh my God. All right, I think you're back. Oh wait.
Am I really back?
Yes. You're back. You went out there. Maybe that
Oh
was
my
me.
God!
But
It's
you did sound
you.
like a-
You've rubbed off on my spectrum here. What have you done?
Tugbot. Tugbot has now entered the stream. Okay, let's move on.
Here's the chat summary. People are discussing the recent court case, and they're saying how Laura is acting like I ever heard. That's what
Yes. Very much so.
Some people said they didn't hear it. Maybe it was on your side. Mm.
So are you telling me that now I'm going to start hearing you as a robot when
You
my
start hearing me transform, Megantron.
This is very distressing. Spectrum really needs to get its head out of its ass, okay? I'm so pissed at them. They told me
Some people
today
said
that
they heard it too, so they're on your
okay.
side there.
They
Some people.
told me today, Spectrum told me today that they had to fix the problem first before they could give me a refund. Does that make any sense to you? And I'm like, "Yeah, but you haven't fixed it since it hasn't been fixed since November, so how much longer do I how many more tech bros do I have to have in my house before you just give up and give me a credit?" Like, could you just tell them to bring their sleeping bags next time? They can just stay here, and I'll let them just work from here and see how that goes for you.
Well, Spectrum. I had some fun issues with Spectrum a while back. They were just, oh Lord. I dealt with them. They sent me this weird letter that said they were going to cut off my internet if I didn't respond by a certain day. And I was like, I called them and I was like, I got this letter and it said you're going to cut my internet off 2 days ago. So I was like, what the hell? I was like, there's why are you sending me this? There's no billing problem or anything else. And they couldn't tell me why that letter was there because there had been no delinquent payments. There hadn't been for a year. We hadn't had any problems whatsoever, but they sent me this threatening letter. And I was so pissed. I kept having like weird problem after weird problem. And finally I called and I talked to their loss prevention people and they were like, I asked one point blank. I was like, "Am I going to continue having these problems? Do I need to get some, other service? Because I'm right there." And they were like, "Yeah, you
They
probably
know that
should."
I can't have any other service, so they don't give me service because they know that I'm stuck, that there's no one else for me to go to in my area. I said to them after they said, this is what they said. Once we send a tech, this would be the third one, and make sure the issue is fixed and services are good to go, we can review the account for the credit. I understand the frustration, but we can address this issue, but we would need to send a tech to come back out. And I said, what part of this are you not understanding? There is no fixing it with the tech in my house. They can't fix it. You're saying you'll only credit me once it gets fixed, but it's an unfixable issue. I hate you. I hate Spectrum. I said, go ahead and send a tech. Maybe send him with a sleeping bag. He can move in for a while to prove that it's not our equipment, but it's a Spectrum line issue that they can't or won't fix, but they keep charging me for it. And they said, I've got 40,000 followers on Twitter and I'm going to mock you every day until you fix this. And then their response was, I can have someone out today between 1 and 2.
I've done that. I always hate that because it feels like the who I'm. But sometimes I'm like, you know, you. I've told people I'm like, you pull this shit with a lot of people because you think nobody can say anything about it. And I was like, there's 150,000 people I can tell. Your service is
Exactly.
garbage.
I'm just gonna every day. My very first tweet of the day is gonna be like, Spectrum still sucks balls. Just
Yep.
let you know, like they still haven't fixed it. And it's so funny. And she goes, she followed up with me afterwards. She was like, so how did it go today? And I was like, well, still not fixed. One more day of terrible service and mocking you on Twitter. And that's all I can do because I can't get a different service. That's all I can do is just complain on Twitter. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Tell you the worst service I ever had. This podunk little bitty place. No way to get service out there. So I ended up with AT&T satellite service, and that was like having AOL. That was in my. That was probably I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It was awful. It would take anytime I would upload a video, it would take like 4 hours for it to upload. So I couldn't do videos like in the moment. I had to and forget live streams that were good. I had to jump through a million hoops. Now, back in the day, that was early live streaming, but still, I mean, comparatively, I mean, it wasn't like, now I don't know what you did to my service there. Maybe you made it, your service made my service medium smart. I don't know what happened, but
God.
Oh. Hey, what's up, Wonder Girl 60, by the way? Good to see you.
So I forgot where we
I had to
were.
give Wonder Girl a shout out. Like, she's been around here since I had like a dozen people that would show up for live streams. So I'm like, hey, what's up? You're one of like the first 10 people that were on my streams. So thank you. Good to see you.
Those days were not that long ago for me either. That was not very long ago that I had a dozen people on a live stream. It's funny to go from that to 1,000 at a time.
I mean, I
It's
appreciate the
great.
hell out of it. See, I
It's
think
great,
that's why,
but
like, the
I'm
channels
not
that
used to this. I'm not used to the chat flying so fast, and it sometimes like I like to interact with the chat, and it's hard when it's going so fast to like take it all in. But I always appreciate it.
I would love to just see. I think those channels that just blow up, like they don't grind for it. They don't. Some of them do I don't mean that negatively. Well, I do kind of. Some of them are horrible about it. They expect it, and I've seen it grow. And the people that show up all the time, man, I appreciate you. Are the channel here. You are it. Without it, I've been there just talking in the microphone, pretty much almost by myself. And we built from that, and we built up, and we built this thing, whatever these things are, whatever the fuck this is. We made it. So
Vanessa Gregg just said Megan Spectrum impregnated Tug's internet.
oh my God, we're having a robot.
And Ellie Fant, by the way, that is not lies. I do not ignore the chat. It goes by so fast sometimes I don't see it when you guys are trying to get my attention. But I am
My
not
internet
ignoring the chat.
my internet sucks bad enough that I have to put the chat on my cell phone. So I have
I've
to.
had to do that. I've had to do that
That's how I
before.
do it. I run it off my cell phone so if I don't seem like I'm paying attention, I have to set my cell phone a specific way. And if I'm reading something, I can't keep up with both at the same time.
I have to do that with my locals chat sometimes. By the way, meganfox.locals.com. We have fun over there. There's always a live chat. There's one going right now. And you can share memes and stuff over there. It's fun. What line were we on? I've forgotten totally.
Let's see. Depressive to the manic. Following no depression. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Let's just pick one.
Oh, okay. Line 4. You were on. I said she had these symptoms and these what you describe as mental instability.
Line 4. I can't even see line 4.
Line 4. You can't see line 4 right here.
I see line 6 on my.
What? Oh, what's happening?
What's going on, man?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I'm looking at the screen in front of me. It's line 6 to 24.
I think my screen might be frozen. Hold on. I am. I'm frozen.
Shit.
Oh
She's
my
like,
God.
can you read this line that's not on the screen?
Wait, my StreamYard's frozen. Hold on. I've got to try and refresh.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Yeah, she'll be right back. That's hilarious though. She's like, hey, wait a minute. She's coming right back. It's just funny. She's like, hey, that line we're on. I'm like, I can't even see that line. What are you talking about? Okay, here she is. Let's see if this works.
I'm sorry. Freaking StreamYard. Okay, you can share it again.
Okay, there we go.
Now we're on line 4.
Okay, yeah, I see line 4 again. Okay. I guess what would be the correct way to describe it? And then you can give me an example and I'll tell you if she was doing that or not.
Well, you say that she was exhibiting. She was acting depressed, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say that?
Very down on herself. She said that she was worthless. She would say that she was just down on herself and that she was upset for no reason. I don't know what a depressed person exhibits to make them depressed, but she would always say that she was depressed.
Okay.
It wasn't me just coming up with that theory. She was medicated before I ever met her, indeed. And she would tell me she had issues of depression.
Okay. Do you recall on the day that you might have already said this, when Laura first said she was pregnant?
No, I don't remember.
Can you estimate, around the time?
I thought it was fall 2016.
Okay. So then, okay, thanks. Do you recall a time in 2017 when Laura was hospitalized after falling from a horse?
She was hospitalized multiple times, yeah.
When were those?
I know she was with my family one time in July. She was hospitalized, I think, the winter from an accident, car accident.
Winter or fall?
Sorry, I think it was 2017, early 2017 from a car accident. She hit her head in text messages to me that she had a seizure, hit her head, went to the hospital in February. What was that? Late February.
February of 2017?
Yeah, I witnessed her falling off of a horse, I think in March or April 2017. I mean, yeah.
And so you mentioned that she was with your family. You said that it was July of 2017.
Yeah, it was summer 2017.
Okay, what happened during that time?
She had a seizure on top of a horse and fell face first onto the ground and had a seizure on the ground.
All right, so this is interesting, you guys. This because they're going to talk about the car accident too. We get into the Uber accident. She sued Uber for being in an accident. She wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And according to Laura, she didn't start having these seizures until Mike choked her into unconsciousness.
Hmm.
She said that when he choked her in Iceland and she went through all this abuse with him, then she started having seizures. Here, he's telling you he witnessed her having this seizure on a horse, and she told him it was because of the car accident she was in.
So
just
weird. I mean,
this is another inconsistency again in the stories that we've heard.
it kills me. They do kinky stuff in the bedroom, and then in the aftermath, it's like, oh my God, abuse. It's just
Well,
so
actually,
bizarre.
according to him, that's not true. We'll get there. Did you go see her when she was in the hospital? Object. Assumes facts, not in evidence. Was she in the hospital for that? Oh, was she hospitalized?
Finally, they got to.
Jeez, finally.
He's like, I think, yeah, that's what her family told her. Her family's told me, and my parents, my family, as well, told me that she was admitted. She was taken in an ambulance to the hospital.
Okay, so your family was with her at the hospital. Is that correct?
I don't know if they were with her. I just remember that they watched her be taken away. I'm sure they were with her. Like, I don't remember. I don't recall if they were, what the exact details were. I just remember being worried.
You were worried. So did you go visit her in the hospital?
No, they told me not to drive out there.
Who told you not to drive out there?
Her family, because they were going to release her later that evening.
Did you talk to Laura when she was hospitalized?
I did.
Was there anything unusual about your conversation with her?
She sounded concussed.
What do you mean?
So playing sports, when somebody gets concussed, they're kind of out of it. Like, they're very aloof. Went to very aloof when you're talking to them. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but what I'm saying is she wasn't making sense in a lot of things. And her mom said she was in the report, whatever I think it's called, but on the phone, I didn't think she was making much sense because she wanted to hop out of the ambulance in the middle of the car ride. She actually had the ambulance pull over.
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, I was
Why
told.
do I have the mental picture of what's her name jumping off the gurney right before she died? You know, Anne Heche.
I'm
Was
listening.
it Anne Heche who got into the car accident and they put her on a stretcher and she was zipped up in a body bag and then she jumped out? When they were trying to put her in the ambulance.
I'm just imagining the Mario theme and she's bouncing around. Boing, boing, boing. You know. So Yeah, I was told because I was like, Laura was still, she had her phone on her. So she was like talking to me on her phone, or maybe it was her mom's phone. I don't remember, but I remember then I would like switch over to my mom and my sister because they were following her in the hospital, following the ambulance. And then they would say, like, hey, the ambulance is pulling over. Then I get a call from Laura saying she doesn't think she needs to be admitted to the hospital. They were taking her there for precautionary reasons because she had a seizure, fell off her horse. So I don't remember what the question I was answering now that siren just went by.
Well, we'll move
But
on. Did you know that I like that siren like you're in the UK? Boo, 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 boo. Where do you hear those sirens in the US, Tug? Where do we have any sirens that sound like that? Is that how they sound in Tennessee?
that's how they sound on
Boo,
the
boo,
telly.
boo, boo. The telly, yeah, like those are UK sirens. I don't know where you're from, but ours sound like this.
Copper, copper. Car 1 to car 2, car 1 to car 2. Megan's internet isn't out again.
I do not know what you are saying. We we I think it's so funny that you brought up the beep boop siren. That's so weird that you would just like maybe you're not really in Tennessee, are you? You live in Manchester.
Yeah,
Busted.
this accent, you can totally tell that I'm from the UK. I totally make this up for fun.
Well, I don't know. That was a really weird siren reference. Okay, it was a red flag. Tug,
I
red
mean,
flag.
how dare anyone ask me how I put my drawers on? Wait a minute, that's not.
All right, quick. Answer this question. Is it chips? How do you say chips or fries?
I think no, the best way is what do you call caffeinated beverages there? Cokes. Everything is a Coke.
Everything's a
like
Coke.
yeah, I'll be like, hey, I asked
I want a Coke, and then they say, "What kind?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Daddy, do you want a Coke? Yeah, what kind? A Pepsi. And it's like whatever.
All right. We'll move on. Did you know that Laura had a seizure disorder?
She told me after her car accident that was the correlation that she said after having a car accident when she was riding an Uber that she started getting seizures.
Okay, that is a different story than what Laura has told other people. She's now telling other people that she has the seizure disorder because of Mike. Okay, when did you and Laura decide to go to Iceland?
We never decided. She bought the tickets and the trip without my knowing, and it says that in the text messages.
Which I haven't had a chance to review.
Well, that's your bad. I mean, well, I said it to her mom. That was the one I wrote to her in December. So you do have those.
So you didn't decide, did you ever express interest to her in going to Iceland?
We both talked about places we wanted to visit, but that doesn't mean that's the exact place I wanted to go.
Hang on one second. Hey, Tug, do you want to hit some super chats? I need a break.
Yeah. I will
All right,
hit a super
I'll be
chat.
back. I got a kid. I gotta get to bed, and I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'm going to hit these real fast. Like I said, Megan will be back in just a minute. So let's nail a few real quick. Fallen Hero, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Appreciate you here all the time, too, my friend. Thank you. Shelly, thanks for the 5. I'll start with your breadstick money. Breadstick money. Continuing that breadstick money with Sandra D. Thank you for the 5 there. That breadstick money. Also, Sandra D. Get to somebody a membership as well. Man, breadstick money that transfers ownerships. That's awesome. David, thanks for the gifted membership too. Thank you. Thank you for continuing the breadstick money as well. Tracy, thanks for the $5 super sticker. I saw that one fall in too. I appreciate those. I like the super stickers. I like watching them fall in. So thank you. Sandra D, thanks for the 10 there. The stupidity is strong with hashtag tramp stamp lawyer. But the sad thing is that there is a chance that he will win. Obviously, this woman was lucky so far. There's always a chance in courts. You you hope that actual justice will prevail. I mean, courts are such a freaking mess. Oh, I get on. Oh. Death's Angel, thanks for that. Megan. Megan, who's not here. I'll tell her this in a minute. I'll come back to that one, okay? I don't want to say that. Snake Plush Kitten. Love that name always. Appreciate you too. Thanks for the 5. Megan. Oh, well, there's another Megan. I'm going to ask her that one too. I hit this one. Kelly. I read this earlier too. I mean, like I said, I'm sorry to hear that as well. I hope everything's going okay. Amanda, thanks for the 5. The doctor's name is hyphenated. I looked it up. He hyphenated his own name. Seriously? Ugh. That's funny. Lady Tammy. So you're talking about that one doctor with the message. That's funny. Thanks for the 5. Cheese stick money. Cheese stick getting from the breadsticks. Good times. Heather, thanks for the 5. Hope she never has children. I could see her hurting children. But Munchausen by proxy, or she would raise a mini me. Yeah, unfortunately, we do pass on our terrible elements sometimes. Sometimes we can break the cycle too, depending on. So, Heather, thanks for 5. Tug, we're wondering how the pregnancy is going. Do you know the sex of the triplets? When should we plan the baby shower? Well, judging from them. I mean, when you look at the triplets here, they do, I'm not sure. They like to hang out, though. Maybe we'll do a reveal. Maybe we'll have one, Maybe they're both. Daniel, thanks for the 5. It's so dramatic. It's giving me post-traumatic stress syndrome. Indeed. Paul, thanks for the pregnant with polycystic ovaries. Called telehealth. Yeah, get the telehealth on the line now, baby. Shannon O'Brien Chronicles, thanks for the 5. There are some very strategic breaks for her lawyers. Let's take a break. She's what? Hashtag screaming goat. Ah, indeed. Indeed. Audrey, thanks for the do it. Megan, a double dog dare you. What were you daring her for? I don't remember where that was in there. Miss Jackson, thanks for the you two are like the dynamic duo. Yeah, I have fun on these. I like to cut up, Julio, I think we hit that subject, by the way. Thanks for the 10. Christy, no, we definitely hit that one there. Lindsay, thanks for the 2. Have a migraine. Got to listen now. 100 times worse. Well, some of the craziness that you listen to sometimes. Lauren, thanks for the 5. Flora Owens was ever really pregnant. She would never abort. Think about that. That is 18 years of auto attachment. That's an interesting theory, isn't it? Well, you can never break off for 18 years. So, Tracy, thanks for 5. Summoning baby umbrella girl with cheese money. I'm surprised she hasn't come back. Actually, Heather, thanks for 5. She's satellite an option for either. Not me. No. We have one local provider, but they're bizarre about things. I don't want to deal with them. I see a lot of their ads, though. There has to be a better way of getting service. Now, out the sticks, I mean, you deal with what you got. I mean, it's just, it's rough. It's rough to find. It's rough to find providers. Lindsay, thanks for the 5. Is the trial still on the 10th? How do we find each other if we attend? Megan, unless it's as far as we know, I haven't heard any change on that. I don't know. I'll ask Megan about that though. How people actually find each other if you go to that stuff. This has been a fascinating read though, because what you're looking at here. I mean, again, from a when we look at this kind of stuff, like think about people from a treatment aspect. She's talking about medication. She's talking about having these specific issues. One of the things that you never see, and I'm not attaching this, I want to make that clear, just saying this. One of the things that never gets diagnosed are personality disorders because of the stigma that is associated with that. And unfortunately, if you're dealing with a personality disorder, that is a learned behavior. It's different than dealing. It's different than dealing with, say, depression, or some. You have to unlearn all of this behavior. And I mean, you think about this. So, the 9 symptoms of BPD. All right, I may misstate some. Again, I'm just going mentally off of this, but fear of abandonment. So when you see all of this, the terror that you would be alone, and this is it's an exaggerated fear. When you think about people see that all the time, in places that it's not. Are you seeing that kind of stuff in these descriptions that we hear? Unstable relationships, unclear shifting self-image. I'm a piece of garbage. I'm a piece of crap, and so on. Impulsive or self-destructive behaviors. The SI, or the suicidal ideation, potential self-harm doesn't have to be self-harm, but the suicidal ideation there. The emotional turmoil, the swing set, as it were. Do you see that?
All right, I'm back.
Okay. I'm going through BPD, symptoms.
Cool.
2 more. Feelings of emptiness. Do you hear that expressed? And explosive anger. Like, again, if you were just going by, and again, I'm not remote diagnosing. I'm not this person's clinician by any stretch of the imagination, but you could check every box on that. And they are, if you've been diagnosed with something, you are not these people. So just making that clear too. But some of the worst examples of behavior fall into personality. People don't get diagnosed with personality disorders because they're perceived as so negative. See, there were a couple of questions for you too, just to know. Let me find.
I heard the one about Arizona. So how do we find each other? Well, court is on the 10th at the Maricopa County Courthouse. We will be there. Dave and I still have to figure out where we're going to do like a meetup, because we will be doing that probably either on the 9th or the 11th. But stay tuned. There will be more info on that.
Stay tuned. Coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, wrong case. My bad. Megan, by the way, Death Angel said, love your hair today. How did you get the beautiful feathering on the side? I have straight long hair. Help. Love to
All right.
everyone.
Well, sorry, I'm chewing.
You've got to chew a lot, first of all. That is part. That's important.
Round brush. When I'm blow drying it, I use a round brush, but it probably really works for me because I have curly hair. So if you have straight hair, the round brush probably won't do it. You're probably going to have to use like a flat iron or a curling iron to do the sides after you're done blow drying. But I just use a round brush when I'm blow drying and just blow it outward instead of inward.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my hair so beautiful, Megan. Oh, yes. I'm going to use a round brush on it. Oh, it's so beautiful.
On your curly mullet.
Mullet. Oh, geez. That would be so terrible. No, the worst hairstyle for a man is a rat tail. I think that is the worst thing ever.
Oh, yeah. The rat tail. There's nothing worse.
If I were to, like, like in movies, if you like somebody's bullying, or hold them down and do something terrible, I would cut their hair into a rat tail. That's what I would do. I'd be like, that's what you get. And also, Megan, you had this one. Megan, why are you so skeptical? Don't you remember the parable concerning the return of the prodigal ovary?
Oh, yes. The Bible is very clear on the return of the prodigal ovary.
I remember that.
I remember that story. I think it was one of Abraham's wives. So she had a ovary that ran away, and then it ended up sleeping in a pig farm, and then it came back, and then she got pregnant with Isaac or some shit. Yep.
You don't remember? You don't remember Jesus casting out the ovaries into the pigs?
Right.
We are legion, for we are many.
And then they went into it. How many poor homeless guy?
No.
And then a homeless guy had twins. I know these stories are all so.
I'm gonna get some hate mail for that one. I think I was getting hate mail for that. I got some people writing because saying Jesus wept apparently offends some people. I was like, of all things that I've said, Jesus wept is probably
that's offensive.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought that was just that was typical. My grandparents would say that, my grandparents who were very, very devout
Well,
Christians.
it just shows that you have memorized a verse in the Bible. That is the shortest verse in the entire Bible.
Well, I'd be like, Jesus wept. Why would Jesus wept? Because he saw me reading this and trying to make it make sense. That may be something I might say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm eating. I'm starving.
You're fine. I'm smoking. My lungs were starving. No, actually, I don't breathe this in my lungs. That's wrong. If I breathe this cigar in, I did that when I first smoked cigar. I was like, well, I'm gonna go on, a vacation, and I'm gonna sit in a hot tub. It's time to relax. So I breathe. I was like, okay, don't breathe it in. Don't breathe it. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. I've done that. And they're not those milds either. These are like full flavor. So it's like breathing in freaking exhaust fumes. Oh God, I'm gonna die. Okay, where were we?
The dehydrated slime wants to know if we're going to read the documents Dave Neal streamed. We did. You missed it in the beginning. We did read some of them, not all of them, but
some of them.
we read some of
And
them.
there are other documents that have come up too. I'm going to go through the response by Gringus to the fraud. I want to go through that one just because I think that set of documents. There's a bunch of documents out there. Every day we have more added on. This week has been a crazy week. So unless we had a 24-hour stream or something, there's no way to get through them in one day. I mean, it's just an insane.
I know, it's
amount of
insane. I still have missed, I still haven't gotten to read the exhibits that were in the one, whatever the first filing was last week. I'm still not there because I'm trying to catch up on all the.
Was that the first fraud document?
Probably. Yeah, we never even got to the exhibits.
Yeah, that actually, so it repeated the discussion about the fake sonogram, but I think that it's good to return back to it. In fact, I keep thinking about, I never did the TEDx talk live, and actually,
we got to do that now because we're just about to read about Iceland, and that's what she did the whole thing about.
Yeah, so I think with like the TEDx talk definitely has to be, because it has a lot more context now too. I mean, we have all of this brand new documentation that we didn't have before. That's the way. This case, we have been given a lot more than we typically would with a case like this, and
thanks
that's
to
because
David Gingras.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's the strangest thing. I've never seen a lawyer act like this. I've seen cases play out over a really extended amount of time. Again, like the Depp case is a good example. That played out for years. It played out across 2 different cases. So you ended up with just piles of stuff, but you typically are not going to have other cases dropped in, stuff that, especially not by the person's lawyer, that it might damage. That's so wild. Like him dropping this in public. I mean, I think David is one of my favorite people online right now. So,
oh my God, I love him.
I do
want to
too.
follow his
I love
career
you,
forever.
David. I love you. I would be very upset if you don't love me back. If you do not get that tramp stamp, you mofo, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. Because I love you,
beat
David.
you with a hammer.
A verbal hammer. That is in no way, shape, or form a threat.
Yeah, that's a figure of speech.
Yes. It's a hammer of love.
The hammer of love.
Yeah. I think we're getting
the hammer
personal
of
there.
truth.
I think we're getting real personal when I start calling it the hammer of love. He's like, can you show me that if I compel a lunch date? You're like, hey, baby, you don't even have to compel that lunch date, David. You can take me out anytime.
Oh, bring up that Mindy Mouse, her super chat just now. She says, did you two see what her attorney said about winning the case with this document? It wasn't about winning against Clayton. It's about against you guys. Well, good luck. Because
No,
I've never said she was never pregnant. I said she wasn't pregnant with Clayton's baby twins. I don't believe she was pregnant with Clayton's babies. I don't think she was pregnant. I still don't see evidence that she was pregnant. And if she was pregnant, let's just say let's say she was pregnant somehow. She filed all of this fraudulently because she knew she wasn't pregnant before August. Period. And what's he going to sue me for? For not believing his client was pregnant?
You got to listen and believe, Megan. Don't you know? It's Twitters.
It's not illegal to not believe
Twitters.
someone. It's also not defamation. I hate to tell you, but it's
fucking
not.
dude, man. I mean, Dave, you are a fucking hypocrite. Like I said, you call yourself a free speech fucking lawyer, and then anybody that says something, so you believe in that unless somebody pays you not to. Fascinating to me. Fascinating. That would be the person I really want to hire to fucking defend my free speech. Somebody that, yeah,
This guy
they'll.
defended guys who put up revenge porn.
I mean,
That's
just
the kind of clients he defended under the guise of free speech. And yet he's going to come after me for saying that I don't believe her? Come on.
I think that's such fucking hypocrisy. You know. Ugh. I know a lot of people that believe I'm not a free speech absolutist. I think there are certain things that I see, like maps, for example. You know, I didn't even agree. You know, pedos when they get into their conversation. No, well, no. There's a certain wall they belong on. But so I can't be a free speech absolutist. But if it's not breaking laws, endangering like that, you know, that specific type, David would be like, I got you with the breaking the laws. Fuck you say. You're supposed to be a free speech. You're supposed to go out there and protect it. Yeah, but you
All right, the
you don't
chat says
understand
there's
it.
a new blog post.
Oh man, is there?
I'm looking.
I wonder what it's about. Let's see. I'm gonna look real quick. It's called Why.
Let's talk about lies part 2.
Oh, awesome. Let me
Shall we bring it up?
give me a second. I'm gonna make sure that I pick that up. I wonder if it's changed 4 or 5 times by the time we got here. You know, let's see. Archive.
Yeah, archive that. That's all right. Brad's got a script running on his blog that archives everything that he puts up immediately.
Okay.
So
yeah,
Brad
archive
will
was
have
messed
it.
up the other day too. You know, but I still like to. It's a good practice for me. You know, it's not even about the subject. It's about like when I see something like that, archiving it. It's gonna be hard to sue people when, again, he admitted that his client lies and has lied in the courtroom. It's gonna be
All right,
very
here
difficult.
we go.
Okay, give me a second. Let's talk about lies, baby.
A while ago, I wrote a
while
post. Maybe you should read this. Maybe you should read. You read.
A while.
You read all.
Just one minute. I've got a kid coming real quick, and then I'll start it. Give me a second.
Okay.
What? What'd you say?
It's just you and me, chat.
I can't make those right this minute. Okay. Hey, I'll be like 2 minutes. Okay. I'm gonna make a.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw in something for 2 minutes. It's a pizza roll. She wants it, so I'm gonna go make it for her real fast. Okay.
Gotcha. I can't wait to read this. This guy is so much fun. Yeah, we read part 1. This guy is so much fun. He's my favorite lawyer ever. Ever. He's going to give us material all the way through the summer. Megan, make Tug open your cheese. That's funny. I'm sorry I'm chewing in your ears. I'm hungry. This guy is unbelievable. He's going to teach us about foundation, by the way. He loves pretending like none of us know anything about the law. He's so weird. Oh, God, how long is this? Oh, who's this guy? Oh, this is Mike Maricini. In Iceland. Oh God, he's gonna put this garbage up here again about her story about what Mike did. This is so crap. Look at how long this is. We're never going to get through this. Yeah, the problem here is, Dingus, when your client is somebody that people do not believe because you know she has a credibility problem and you have said she has a credibility problem in a filing that you filed with the court. You filed it with the court. You said your client lied about where she got the sonogram. She's got a credibility problem. When you say that, you can't then come after anybody else for saying, hey, you know what? Your client's kind of a liar because you said it about 5 times. I don't believe it. All right. Well, what should we talk about? Should I show you my new song that I'm working on? So minor perjury is, oh, I can't control the screen. I always forget that when I'm on Tug's channel that I can't make the screen go up or down. Darn it. I can remove something like I just did, but I can't put up something else. Actually, I could have if I hadn't removed it. That was stupid. Oh, hey, Alex. If I hadn't removed it, I could have just changed the screen. That was dumb. No, I can't. No, I can't. Oh, good. He's back. I made a stupid mistake and I was going to try and
shut it down?
Yeah, thank you. And I was like, oh, crap, I can't put it back up. I'm not used to not being able to.
No.
This is super long, by the way. I don't think we're going to get through it because I can't stick around.
Do you want to do you want to finish some of the deposition and then save this?
Yeah, because it's really long. Look at.
Okay.
And also, by the way, this is Mike and Laura in Iceland. It's really long, and like he's gonna put up a bunch of her lies about him and stuff, which is terrible. And but it's super long, so we're not gonna get through this tonight. No way.
Long.
Super long. So yeah, I think we should go back to the deposition, try and get through at least to where I stopped highlighting, because I haven't even read the whole thing yet.
Okay. I'm going to send you the archive on Twitter, by the way. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Brad's got it too. He just texted me.
Okay. All right. I'm still going to send it to you. Like I said, it's a good habit to have, you know.
Right, because then we both have it, so we won't lose it.
Yeah, I was saying like a lot of the stuff that pops up, you know, we have a running stream of items that pop up through the day, you know. Like Megan will be like, hey, did you see this? And I'll be like, hey, did you see him say this? We have a little running stream. It's good, you know. That's a good way to keep up with all of it.
All right. Okay. So you didn't decide, did you ever express interest to her about going to Iceland?
We both talked about places we wanted to visit, but that doesn't mean that's the exact place I wanted to go.
Well, was it a place you told her you wanted to visit?
It was a place that we both said looked very pretty, and I'm sure we both said yes, we wanted to go there at one point.
Are you guessing that you said yes, or are you sure that you said yes?
And this is yes to go.
Oh, yes to going. Yes to wanting to go to Iceland. That's vague.
There's a lot of lawyers that talk.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to travel the world. I mean, everybody wants to go see every place.
You're sure you told... Did the two of you discuss taking a trip to Iceland?
After she bought the ticket and the trip, yes.
Okay, so it's your testimony that you didn't have any discussions about going to Iceland until after she booked a trip?
I mean, okay, this is going to get confusing. We had talked about places that we wanted to go and visit, but like we never like rank them in order of like, hey, this is where we're going to go together, or this is a trip I want to do with you. We would say, she would be like, well, what places do you want to go? And I would ask her, what places do you want to go? It's like normal dinner conversation.
So you were totally surprised that she had bought tickets and booked a trip to Iceland?
Yes, because it was after the suicidal depression. Yes, I was very surprised.
And so there was no planning, no discussion of it prior to you finding out that she had already booked a ticket?
No, I had no idea she was going to book the ticket.
Okay.
And it says that in the text messages
In your text messages that you sent to her mom or
to her mom and one of them, and then and to her to Laura on my text message, I guess, that you're going to receive.
so when did you and Laura go to Iceland?
Over New Year's 2000, it would have been the New Year of 2017.
So 2016 to 2017.
Uh-huh.
On the flight to Iceland in December, let me back up. Was the flight in December 2016 or January of 2017?
It would have, I mean, well, there were 2 flights.
The flight to Iceland.
The flight to Iceland, so it would have been December 2016.
On the December 2016 flight to Iceland, was Laura upset?
Yes.
What was she upset about?
She was upset that I wasn't saying that we were in a relationship. She wanted me to go on social media and say we were boyfriend and girlfriend
And why didn't you want to?
because I just witnessed her wanting to commit suicide a few days prior and for the duration of a month. So I said that I wanted to take it one day a day at a time. You have to earn back my trust.
How do you feel Laura violated your trust?
I feel like she violated because she was an emotional roller coaster. Again, with that description there. Like I said, I just felt like she would say one thing and then the next moment she would feel something differently. And so I couldn't trust her in the same sense. I couldn't trust that I was going to have a stable emotional relationship with her.
So she was upset that you wouldn't post on social media that you were in a relationship with her?
Yeah. See, she was just upset that I wasn't forgiving her for what she had put me through because she ruined the holidays for my family.
Because she was suicidal, you're saying. I'm sorry. Can you clarify when you say she ruined? Yeah, clarify. The
Yeah,
holidays
clarify.
for you and your family. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I shouldn't say ruin. That's a strong term, but you put a big damper on like our holiday and spending time with family because she was upset and suicidal. And so I felt like most of my trip back home was on the phone with her trying to calm her down.
Trip home from where?
Well, I lived in San Francisco and my family lives in Sacramento.
So when you say what she put you through, that's what you're referencing?
Correct.
So on the flight, was Laura crying?
Yeah.
And did you try to comfort her at all?
In the beginning, I did.
What would you say to her to comfort her?
Like, we'll take it a day at a time. We're going on a trip together. Stop focusing on other people. Think of our relationship and focus on like trying to have a good time. And she kept bringing up the past. Like, if I forgive her, do you forgive me for lying to you? Do you forgive me for being suicidal? And I would say, I would say that I forgive her, but I'm not ready to take the next step in our relationship and just be gung ho like nothing happened
So I just want to understand what she was seeking your forgiveness for.
for lying to me.
About what?
An abortion.
Okay. Was there anything else she was asking your forgiveness for?
Well, it was mostly for lying to me. I had trust issues with her and her family because her family said they also lied, like to cover up, especially the night where Colin Scanlon, myself, Laura, and Laura's dad met up. He admitted that she was lying and making up stories. So that's what she was apologizing for.
When you say he
Ron Owens
admitted that Laura was lying,
and making up stories.
and so you said her parents admitted to lying, what did they say? Objection, that's vague. I'm sorry. It's Ron. I thought he said Ron Owens about the father, not the parents. Can you read his answer back? So when you say her family said they also lied, when was that?
The night we all had a discussion.
Okay, and when you say her family, are you talking specifically about Ron?
Okay, so I think that all 3 of them knew what she was doing. So, meaning Laura, her mother, and Ron knew that she was lying to me and that they were essentially covering up for her until that night because none of the story made sense. And that's why I had the meeting with Ron, Laura, my sister's boyfriend, and myself.
What was the story that didn't make sense?
that she had an abortion.
But when was the story that
She said that she went through with an abortion, or she said that she went through with an abortion and that she was pregnant. On that night, her dad said no, that she had made up a story and went along with it. And that's why I had my sister's boyfriend there to witness that.
did
What a
he
win
explain?
by David, by the way, for posting this. Bravo, David.
I know, isn't this crazy? Did he explain what the story was that she made up?
I don't remember looking back now. There was a lot going on.
Were you aware that after that she had an appointment at Planned Parenthood in San Rafael? After
That's
what?
all lawyers. That's a bunch
After
of
this
lawyers.
conversation took place with her family that night. It's not with her family. Are you talking about the meeting with Ron, Colin? Oh, sorry, the meeting. Yes. Okay.
Was I aware? Probably. I don't remember.
So back to the flight. Were you upset with Laura on that flight?
In the beginning, absolutely not. I mean, we had delays in our flight, but it was like that wasn't a big deal. I think she kept asking me the same questions. So I said, my answer isn't going to change just because you've asked me 10 times.
What was the question?
If I would essentially forget everything that happened. And I said, no, I'm not going to forget everything that happened. I will forgive you, but I will not forget it.
Okay, so what happened?
She got very upset, and she got upset multiple times on the flight, but that time I just essentially just tried to sleep while she was upset.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you. You said you were trying to sleep, or she was trying to sleep?
No, because it was a long flight. After our discussion, I just tried to sleep.
Hang on one second.
Okay.
Buddy, he's not going to be home for another hour
I
and a
said,
half.
what time is it?
It's time for bed. Did you eat?
Yeah.
Okay, then give me a hug and go to bed.
I wish you could go in bed because I want to sleep with you.
Aw. Well, you can't go to sleep in my bed tonight because Daddy's on his way home.
Yeah.
So.
Could I sleep in the middle?
No.
Why?
Because you kick us. And then nobody gets any sleep. When Daddy's not here, you can, but when he's here, it's really rough. I'm sorry.
What? He's gone.
But he's going to be here in an hour and a half. Okay? Good night.
Why
My
can't I
love.
stay up until then?
I'm sorry, but you can't. You'll see him in the morning. I
Why?
promise. You can wake him up. Go lay down in your bed, and if you're
why?
still awake when he gets home, I'll send him in. I love you. Good night, honey. Oh man, he's doing the Charlie Brown walking out of the room.
I know. My little ones do that to me.
My husband took my daughter to the K-pop concert in Chicago, so he wasn't home last night, so I let the little one sleep in bed with me, and he gets he gets used to that real quick.
It's my littlest one, so I like to. I'll sleep in a chair. I don't know. I just like to sit in my chair and fall asleep. It's comfortable. And my little one is like, aha, there's a TV in front of you. So if I come here and I sit with you and we fall asleep, I get to watch TV. It's like, I hear you. I hear you. But she's like the squirmiest kid I've ever seen. She like squirms and kicks and smacks. Like she'll extend her arms all of a sudden, like quickly extend her arms and smack me in the face. And I'm like, oh my God. That's one way to wake up, It's like whack. Oh my God, what was that?
Yeah. That like he can sometimes kick. Like he was fine last night, but normally if there's two of us and he's in the middle, like he'll kick and flail around, and then I get angry at 3 a.m. and I'm dragging him out of my bed. Like, go to your bed. So it's just better to have him go to sleep in his room.
I know that feeling, man. Like it's the oldest will be like, I'm gonna sleep in another, chair or something, nearby, or a couch, or whatever. And like, that's okay, except for the snoring bit. I'm like, I'm a light sleeper, and when it sounds like airplane noises, it's hard for me. Speaking of airplanes, by the way,
that was a great transition.
yeah, I like that. Did you like that? Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you. You said you were trying to sleep or she was trying to sleep?
Oh yeah, that was no, because it was a long flight. I just tried to after our discussion, I just tried to sleep, and she would just keep trying to wake me up to ask me if my answer had changed. And so after she was crying, I tried to console her in the very beginning, and then this kept going on.
Oh
And so
God.
then I finally just stopped consoling her and tried to essentially sleep. No.
Can you imagine being trapped on a plane with
Uh,
her while this
that
is
sounds like
going on?
hell is what it sounds like. I'm in hell. I would get up and walk around the plane because it was a long flight, and then I'll come back to my seat and try to go to sleep.
Where the did you criticize her at all on the flight?
I told her that. I think I would probably called her probably. I mean, I probably said that she's got to be realistic. And so to stop acting crazy, I would say I probably said something along those lines.
Would you call her crazy often during your relationship with her?
No, because that I think I know. I would not call her that often.
Would you say that you called her crazy on would it be fair to say you would call her crazy on multiple occasions?
I would say she's acting crazy. So
Okay, what other names would you call her besides crazy?
I don't know.
Well, it's different, crazy or acting crazy. Would you say that you did you call her crazy or would you tell her she was acting crazy?
I would tell her she was acting crazy a lot of the times. Not a lot of the times. I told her she was acting crazy a few times in the relationship, more than a few times.
What other ways did you criticize her on that flight?
I don't know. What other ways I criticize her? Just said,
I'm confused because I thought you were talking about in general how many times he would ask her. Well, I was, but then now you're going back to the plane. Yeah, I'm going back to the plane. Yeah, got it.
so so maybe I probably told her once, maybe twice. I don't know.
Okay, and what other ways were there other ways that you were being critical besides telling her that she was acting crazy on that flight?
No, I don't remember. No.
Okay, in general during your relationship, in what ways were you critical of her?
In general, in my relationship, what ways was I critical of her? I don't know.
So do you remember getting mad at Laura and yelling at her on that flight?
I wouldn't say I yelled at her. I never yelled at her. We were on a flight. I would not do that. I was essentially upset. Absolutely. Like we were both upset
Would you say you raised your voice?
to where the person in front of us would hear us. I mean, we were having a conversation on a red eye flight. So I think anybody could hear a normal conversation.
And when Laura was crying, would you tell her to stop crying?
Yes.
Okay, were there any other names that you would call Laura during fights that you two would have? Not specific to this flight, but just in general.
No, I don't remember.
Okay, have you ever called Laura ugly?
No.
Have you ever told Laura she's bad at her job?
What's her job?
This is the best mic drop moment in the whole thing. You ever
What's
told her
her
she's bad at her
job?
job? What's her job? You
Does she
tell
really
me.
Yeah, she really gets that money out of her dad. She raced horses, so no. She would win all the time at riding horses, so no.
Did you tell Laura that she was boring in bed?
No.
Did you recommend or ask Laura if she would have a threesome with her sister?
No, I did not.
Were you aware that other people could hear you during the flight?
I think anybody could hear us. I just said that because we were having a conversation on a red eye flight. Would it be like where people 4 rows ahead could hear us? No, absolutely not.
What was your response when you found out that a fellow passenger gave Laura a note? I'm sorry, did you find out that a fellow passenger gave Laura a note?
Yeah, she told me in Iceland
And what was your response when she told you that?
that the person had no idea what I'd just gone through. And so that I'm sorry that somebody else had heard our discussion. But at the time, like that person had no idea what had transpired over the last month.
And by what you had just
That,
gone through, you mean
that's a good point, by the way. So if this note really did happen, I mean, oh, he's such a monster. I mean, she lied to him about a pregnancy and
well,
about an
think about this.
abortion
Like,
and
yeah, this
gaslight.
woman is watching this other woman cry, and the boyfriend's ignoring her totally, trying to go to sleep. And he's like, stop crying. You know? Like, why are we just try to have fun? Like, we're on a vacation. Like, stop.
You're an abusive monster. How dare you tell her not to have feelings?
And she was probably putting up quite a fuss because,
Oh
you
my
know, doing
God.
it for attention or whatever, making
Yeah.
sure other people saw her crying. Do you remember there was like there was a document that said somebody at the Tony Robbins thing came
Yeah.
up to her
And
and
talked
asked
to
her if she was okay because she was, you know, having a fit in public again. So this is
Miss-
something she does a lot to get attention, I think.
that would drive me nuts. You know. So
Yeah.
okay, we had what we had both just gone through, but especially me being lied to and my trust issues with her. The person had no background story of why I would be upset.
Did she tell you why she lied?
Did she tell me? Did she tell me why she lied?
About having an abortion. It assumes facts, not an evidence. He just said she lied about the abortion. All right. Did you discuss it with her?
Did I discuss what with her?
The
I mean, that's why we had the discussion with her dad that night that she was lying.
Did Laura ever admit to lying?
Yes, that night.
Did she tell you why she lied?
No, they told me that her dad even said she creates stories that night.
Do you think it would have been possible that she was scared to have an abortion and so she lied to you and said she had one? Calls for speculation. If you know the answer, don't speculate.
No,
Have you ever met the other passenger on Iceland Air's flight in December 2016 who gave her the note?
no, I never met her.
Have you had any interaction with the passenger since then?
No,
Okay, when you were in Iceland, did you and Laura get into any arguments?
yes.
And when was the first argument?
New Year's Eve, I had to leave the room.
What happened?
She again brought up the same exact issue as before, asking if I forgave her. And I said I forgave her, but again, would not forget it. And then she wanted me to post a photo of us together. And I said, no,
Why were you so adamant against posting a photo of you and Laura?
because I don't think she was emotionally stable. And I said, until we work on us, I'm not going to be posting photos with somebody.
But you thought she was emotionally stable enough to take to Iceland?
Oh my God, did you call her crazy or did you say she was acting crazy? But you thought you would tell. Oh God. So I mean, even her family said I should go on a trip with her because essentially to make up for what had just transpired.
So why did you go on the trip with her?
That's a good question. Looking back, I don't know why. I don't know why.
So I just want to understand, you were refusing to post a picture with her because you didn't think she was emotionally stable, right? That's why you wouldn't post a photo with her?
Yeah, because I was having trust issues with her. So I did not want to. I'm a private person. I don't want that to be out. Like, I don't want to be posting a photo with her, especially when I was having trust issues with her.
You say you're a private person. Do you post on Instagram or Facebook or other social media with any kind of, well, how often do you post on social media?
Once a month.
Only once per month, or once per month on all those different Facebook, Instagram?
Well, they're all linked together. So if you make one post, it goes to all of them. So do you count that as one or two?
Did you post on social media while you were in Iceland?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, but you just refused to post any photos with Laura.
We took photos together, but I didn't post one of her and I.
Okay, and that was, again, because of her mental
What
instability.
what the fuck does this have to do with anything? Like, I don't understand. Like, again, they're just trying to find a problem with him. I mean, this
Yeah.
is nasty. I was just having trust issues,
No,
like I just said.
they're trying to prove that he was abusive. None of
Yeah,
this stuff is abusive.
yeah,
Where
like, I
where
don't
does the
wanna
abuse
post
come
pic
in?
I don't wanna post pictures of that's your fucking prerogative, man, you
And
know?
it's not abusive. And
My
if you thought
my
it was if you thought that was you had a problem with that, you break up then.
my relationship status is now abuse?
Yeah, yeah. If you don't change your
Holy
relationship
shit.
status on Facebook, you're an abuser.
That's insane. I mean,
That's what they're going with.
so I just, was having trust issues, like I said, in our relationship.
Okay, so during this argument that the two of you had, I'm skipping down. On New Year's Eve, you said that you and her got into an argument.
Yeah.
Did you wake her up in the middle of that night because she sent a photo of the two of you to a friend of hers?
Did I wake her up? No.
Were you upset because she sent a photo of the two of you to a friend of hers?
I asked her why she would do that, but I was not upset in like, or did I yell at her or something along those lines? No.
So was that part of what you were arguing about? Was the fact that she sent a photo?
That had nothing to do with what our argument on New Year's night. That was after the fact. That was like 4 or 5 days later.
Okay, so on New Year's night, what was the argument about?
Again, she wanted to post on social media and say we were together, and I said no.
Did you know that Laura can't swim well?
Well, I witnessed it in Iceland, so yeah.
What happened when you witnessed it? This is so funny. This is so crazy.
She it was like a standing size hot tub, and there would be like a deep spot by deep I mean like 6 feet or 5 feet. It was always to the point where she could stand, but if she ever tried to swim, she couldn't swim, so she would just walk on the shallow areas so she could stand up.
Okay, so what do you mean when you said you witnessed it? What does that mean? What did you witness?
Well, I witnessed her, like, I swam across to a certain point, and she wouldn't swim across, and I was like, "Why aren't you swimming?" And that was the first time I'd ever witnessed her not being able to swim that well.
Did you know did you know before that she couldn't swim that well?
No.
I don't know why I'm finding this so funny, but
Why? I mean,
I'm
yeah,
trying
why
to
would they?
picture her struggling in a hot tub.
I know. She's like, "I can't swim. Help me. Help me. I'm drowning in the hot tub."
How do you live in California? Literally beaches everywhere. Like you don't learn how to swim. Okay, this is not important. Okay, between December 2016 and when your relationship was over, I think you said that it was November,
It was late 2017.
late 2017. In that year period, did you ever put your hands on Laura's neck?
No.
Did you ever strangle her?
No.
Did you ever slap her using the palm of your hand anywhere on her body?
No.
During sex, you never slapped her butt?
No, not that I recall.
During sex, did you ever hold her down when the two of you had sex?
No, I did not hold her down. What? Oh my God.
Well, the thrashing, maybe it was an Amber Heard situation.
I mean,
What was it about the thrashing fish market?
oh, the Flappy Fish Market.
Flappy fish.
Yeah.
But I seem to remember Paul sending a text about her thrashing around like a fish on a hook or something. I don't know. It was funny. Between December 2016 and December 2017, did you ever witness Laura lose consciousness during sex with her?
Oh my God. What? Wait. Wait. Oh, we skipped the
Oh,
pillow
wait, we
over.
skipped a part. Oh,
Yeah, I
shoot.
was like, wait a minute.
Between 2016 and 2017, did you ever hold a pillow over her face while you were having sex with her?
No, just a bag. No, wait, it didn't say that.
Did she ever lose consciousness?
No.
Did Laura ever talk to you about her concerns and fears about having sex with you?
No.
Did Laura ever cry while the two of you were having sex?
Oh, no.
Have you ever seen?
She said one time when I said I love you, she started crying afterwards.
When was that?
I have no idea. Sometime in 2017.
Would it have been like summer, fall,
It's probably like spring, I would say.
spring?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Laura with red splotches or marks around her eyes?
Yeah.
And did you talk about what that was?
Yeah. She always said she was having a hard time sleeping.
She said it was because she had a hard time sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay. And how often would you see her with those marks on her eyes?
Well, she would take Ambien every night, but I mean, I would see her. It wasn't often, but I would see her with splotches. I mean, like maybe once a month or once every couple months.
And would you talk to her about it and ask?
No, I'm not going to dig in like why something's on her face. No.
So you noticed it, but you just wouldn't discuss it with her.
I've always like it's like calling out like someone that has a rash on their face. I mean, it's not going to make them feel better if you call them out and say, "Why do you have a rash on your face?" It would be I would just we talked about it one time, that was it. Never brought it up again.
And what was the discussion when you talked about it the one time?
She just said she was having trouble sleeping and wasn't getting much sleep, and that's it. She was getting the marks on her eyes because of that.
Okay, I have here a photo that shows redness around Laura's Owens's right eye and cheek that was taken in March of 2017. This photo was attached as Exhibit 4 to the declaration of Laura Owens in support of her request for a restraining order, which was filed on March 29th. Can you please mark these just as the exhibit in the next line? I believe there are only 2. Yes.
Did you say those were red dots under her eyes or redness on her face? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, did you see red dots on her face?
That was what I was discussing with the red dots.
The chat wants to know, did she use Amica cream? She should have. She
I mean,
should have.
Amica cream will cure anything. I mean,
Anything.
if you didn't know. I mean, we talked about some of the things that Amica cream could actually cure. Like Freddy Krueger. I mean, there's a cream for that. Like Jaws, for example. Hey, there's a cream for that. I mean, anything. Amica cream will cure anything. Just to say, just to make that. I knew those would come in handy again.
Good for you for not taking them out of the StreamYard.
No.
Let's see. Under her eyes. Okay. You're on line 15.
Line 15. I wasn't discussing like that photo.
Oh, no. I'll ask you about that photo next. Plaintiff's exhibit number 2, marked for identification. I also have here a photo showing redness around Laura Owens' right eye and cheek. This was taken in March of 2017, and actually, for the record, let me just correct Exhibit 2. What's been marked as 2 is a photo of Laura Owens' eyes and cheeks that was taken in May of 2017. And I'm going to ask the photo of her right eye and cheek from March 2017 be marked as Exhibit 3. So I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 2 and Exhibit 3. Go ahead and take a look at those. Between December 2016 and October of 2017, did you ever see Laura with these types of little red marks around her eyes?
That's not what I saw, no.
That's not? Did you ever see her with marks like this around her? Why don't we separate it so you're talking about Exhibit 2 and then Exhibit 3? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So looking at Exhibit 2, did you ever see Laura with redness and marks? I'm talking about what's going in kind of the socket around her eye and the redness right above here and the redness down below here. Did you ever see marks like that on her?
No.
Just for the record, that's May of 2017. In the May 2017 photo?
No, I never saw that.
You never saw that. Okay.
No.
Now looking at what's been marked as Exhibit 3, which is the March 2017 photo. Again, this photo, it shows redness in the, around her eyelid and some underneath her eye as well. Did you ever see Laura with marks like this on her face?
No, I did not.
Never. Okay. So when you said you saw marks on her face,
they were like little red dots. They were like almost like if you take a pin and you would see like a couple of dots on her eye. Like it wasn't like a couple of hundred or anything like that. You'd see like a few dots under her eye. And she would be the one asking if I saw it originally. She would say, I mean, I don't remember actually how the conversation went. It was something where we both brought it up, like both noticed that she had it, but she said it was due to sleeping or lack of sleep.
Did she say anything else about them?
No.
Okay, I have here, these are 2 photos that show a bruise on Laura Owens' arm. They were taken on February 28th of 2017, and I would like to have these marked as Exhibits 4 and 5, please. I'm handing you what's been marked as Exhibit 4 and Exhibit 5. Did you ever see Laura with bruises like this?
I would see her with bruises all the time.
Okay, and what did you talk to her about these bruises that you saw all the time?
Yeah, she said she rides horses.
Okay, and that was the extent of your conversation about the bruises on her body? It was just that she rides horses?
She rides horses every day, so she would get bruises. I'm not going to dig into why she gets bruises from riding horses.
Okay. Did she tell you how she would get the bruises from riding the horses?
No, it was just, I mean, she would care. She would do everything for like the horses. Like she was doing like all. She would put the huge saddles on her shoulder, carry everything, walk the horses down from like the paddock down to where she was riding them. I mean, I don't know how it happens.
Okay, thank you. So would you say that how frequently would you say you saw Laura with injuries on her body?
In 2017, she was getting injured a lot. She fell off horses multiple times. One time I witnessed to it. One time my family was witness to it, but she had a lot of falls off of horses during all of
Hold up.
2017.
Hold Dave Neal's in the chat. Everybody get up on top of your chair and show off your short shorts. Dave Neal is in the chat. I'm spinning on my chair right now. Oh, I'm not wearing any short shorts. I'm not wearing pants at all. It's
That's right.
nighttime.
My shorts are so short that I'm not even wearing shorts.
All right, sorry. Continue.
one, one time I was witness to it. One time my family was witness to it. But she had a lot of falls off the horses during all of 2017, especially with her seizures. Her seizure, I mean, one of the points in time, like in her text, even a couple of days later, she had a huge bruise on the back of her head on. I don't even remember where it was from falling and hitting her head on the counter after having a seizure. I mean, I wasn't going to constantly be bringing up how she was getting the bruises.
Okay. Between September of 2016 and March of 2017, did you have a key to Laura's apartment?
No. I never had I mean, she gave me a key to go over there, but I gave it back when she came home.
Did you go over there without her being home?
Yeah, she told me to, well, one, it was to pick up a nutrition product that she was going to use. So I went there to pick it up. And then one time she wanted my family to go in there. Well, she wanted my mom to stay at her place because my mom's not from here. She said that my mom could stay at her house. So I just showed them where she lived. And I even sent her a photo of when we were there to Laura is showing that we were in there. And she was excited that we were all in there looking at her place.
And when did you send that photo?
I don't remember. It was in 2017, I would say.
Will it be in the text messages that you produced?
Yeah.
So you sent Laura a photo from inside of her house?
Inside of her apartment, yeah.
From inside of her apartment. And who were you there with?
My sister and my mom.
And Laura did she give you permission to take your sister and your mom into her apartment when she wasn't home?
She said that my mom should stay at her house when she wasn't there for the weekend.
Did she tell your mom that?
She told me.
Calls for speculation. Did she tell her?
Did my mom stay there? No, she didn't.
Let's see. When is the last time that you had sex with Laura?
Late 2017.
Like, would you say November or December?
I would say after summer, probably around fall. I don't remember.
How close in time would you, if you could give an answer, was it to that conversation that you said took 5 to 10 minutes when you told her that you were officially done?
The conversation was a couple weeks after.
Okay.
Maybe a few weeks. I don't remember.
Before you had that conversation with Laura, were you dating other women?
Well, we were off and on toward the end. So then I started dating a couple of other girls. Yeah, we didn't have the sex, though. Never overlay with other women.
We didn't have the sex, though. None of the sex, though.
Never overlaid with other women. So meaning I wasn't having sex with two different people or anything like that.
So you weren't having sex with the other women when you were until after December of 20?
Once I cut off from Laura, then I started essentially really going in and having others, started dating other women more.
I really started going in after that.
I really started plowing, working in the fields, just seeing other women.
So just so I'm clear on the timeline and what you're saying.
Yeah.
The conversation that you had with Laura, you said lasted 5 to 10 minutes in late 2017. You were not having sex with any other women until after that conversation?
Correct.
Okay. When you were kind of going off and on, as what you described, or I think...
That's the term I used, yeah.
How long did that last up until, or I guess...
No, wait, 1 second. What? What about them?
So.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, give me 1 second. Okay. Just
Sure.
1 second.
Oh my God, how much longer does this go on? I'm going to have to go. Oh, I have to go to bed. That's chat. I'm done, chat. I'm just done. Wait, how did I get on the wrong page? I thought I was on 93. Here we are. All right, what's everybody doing? Are you guys getting ready to go to bed? It is bedtime, isn't it? Isn't it? It's like 10 o'clock. God, I feel like I've been up for days.
That is so funny. Like she'll get her pizza bites and she'll say, "I want salt on them," and she doesn't like. I don't give her this. I don't give her any salt. Like I'll pick up the salt thing and I'll leave it closed. I'll be like, "Look, there's salt." She's like, "Okay." And she went off again. But I have to do it or she
Oh,
wouldn't eat them. You know.
there are people in the chat who've been commenting that those dots around the eyes can happen with vomiting and crying hard. And there has been some question about, she's being severely underweight. And I don't know if she's ever struggled with eating disorders or whatever, but if she did, that would be partially, that could be an
There.
answer to that.
So even if we went with her story, they're having kinky sex. Like if we went with what she says,
Yeah.
and she says, "Oh well, I had some marks under my eyes from having kinky sex," which they kept having over and over again.
I know. It
I
doesn't make
mean,
any sense. I hate to tell you this, but I have to pop off now. The
oh,
hubby
that's
just
cool.
got home,
That's cool.
and it is his birthday, so I have to go and
Oh,
pay some attention.
all right.
And
Happy birthday to him, by the way.
I will tell him that you said so. And chat, be good. Send breadstick money. And Tug, maybe we can pick this up again. I
Yeah,
mean, you
yeah.
can keep reading it, but
No, let's kill it right here. That's a good place. I like the back and forth. It actually works very well. It,
all
it
right,
makes
cool.
it makes it really good.
Well,
But
then
anyway,
let's
go.
plan on reading the rest of it on Tuesday.
Okay.
You
All right.
know,
Yeah.
or I
Salvage
mean,
it. There's
if
plenty of other.
we get around to doing it before then, that's
Yeah,
fine
yeah.
too.
We'll say, yeah. By then, we'll have it by Tuesday, no matter what. There's plenty of other documents to pick up before then, if nothing
Right.
else. All right.
All right. Good night, everybody. I'm out of here.
Later. All right, that's fun. Actually, I was having fun with the document. It's crazy. I mean, when you read through the document itself, I'm having problems finding the abuse. Again, her claims that there's bruising. I mean, so here's the chat summary. People are discussing the Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green divorce. That's what the chat's saying that we're discussing here. Their AI summary. Oh my God. They are talking about red dots in Megan's face, her weight, and her dating life. I love the AI summaries. That's anytime if you're wondering what I'm talking about. So I haven't tried this on the desktop, but on my my YouTube app, anytime I close the chat and I open it back up, it gives me a summary of what it's supposed to catch us up on where we are and what the chat is actually discussing. So it's telling us that that's what this is about. uh, that's so funny. All this stuff. Abuse is a joke here. I'm a DAV survivor again. Someone else's story she's taking. That's the thing. These people, well, it's like anything, like this is the frustrating part about all of this. And you have to, you can either go at this two ways. This is the way I've noticed this. You can either blast the person for what they do, or you can let it eat you. Like I watch my stepfather, very close to him. I watched him die horribly from cancer. Horribly. I saw him over 6 years die horribly. And I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And I told Megan before this, I was like, I have trouble talking about these things. Like they bother me. It bothers me. But it's relevant and we have to, because it's relevant to whatever we're discussing. So I understand, like, when people, when you see these things that these folks, we get on hard topics sometimes too. And it's hard to, continue with talks about miscarriage, talks about DV. That's why these people like Laura Owens are so horrible when you get down to it, because they take tragedy. See, it's like I've said before. Some people see the suffering other people go through as a badge of clout. The people who went through, they don't. It's not clout. It's horror. It scars you, and it scars everyone around you. And the people that do this, they need to be fucking shamed. Because one day, I hope we get to the point, like I said, I would love to see a timeline in my life. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but I'd like to see a timeline in my life where I don't believe that listen and believe is an impediment. I'd like to be able to say, if someone pointed at someone and said, this person did that to me, I'd like to be able to believe them. I wish I could. I'd like to believe. I feel like Mulder, with X-Files with that. I want to believe, but I can't. Don't confuse that with saying like you're a survivor. There's no way in the world I would question that, because there's no point to that. There's a difference in saying I survived something versus another person. And I'm not saying there was nothing negative in your statement. I'm just saying here, yeah, they make a joke out of this. They turn it into something twisted. And it's horrible. That's why these stories. That's why I don't want to cover every case that comes along. I want to cover ones that have a point, because there are some cases that I think are interesting. I would cover them, but I don't ever want to become so callous that I see the suffering of others as spectator sport. And that's what I was watching. I guess it was Lifetime channel at one time, and it kind of hit me that every 30 minutes when you watch these murder shows, if it was just about one case, that 30 minutes, that at least 2 lives had to be destroyed. At least you had the victim in that, and then the person that did it, they destroyed their life too, and they destroy lives all around them. But at least minimum 2 lives have to be destroyed every 30 seconds or every 30 minutes for people's amusement. That's horrible. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with watching cases, but I don't want. I feel like it dehumanizes us some. We become curious about that. We become curious and detached. But when you really think about it, it's horrible. It's horrible what people do. And I hope there's an object lesson in that. I think it's a lesson. It should be a lesson. And there should be a deterrent to it too. The people that destroy other lives with false accusations of DV, there should be some deterrent to that. When you know that it. There are always people like, you can't always prove it. No, you can't. And there are some incidents where you're not going to have proof. And that is an unfortunate byproduct of this kind of stuff. But there are cases where they lied. They lied and nothing happens. Nothing ever happens. Not unless it's very extreme. And it's a horrible thing. But like I said, I watched my stepfather. He had a rarefied type of cancer, and he had operation after operation. At first, he had operations to remove tumors. And then after that, he would have tumors, and they would go in and they would flatten them. They would basically, these tumors, they would develop as polyps. They would burst, and it would spread. And what they would do is there was an experimental treatment for it at the time, where they would flatten them. They would go in, they would suck everything out of it and flatten it down. But it was spreading, and it by the end of that, I mean, this was where medication wasn't really controlled. Like their medications is different now, and they would mail him like pain pills, Dilaudid. They would mail him thousands of them per month. I mean, it was insane amounts of medication that he would just to function. And he would they would give him all this stuff for appetite, and he couldn't eat. You'd have to find marijuana, and it's illegal here. So there's always the fear of you may get arrested for a good cause, but nonetheless you get arrested for making sure that somebody that's in that condition could eat. So it's terrible. It's terrible stuff. And the thing that I also remember with that is, despite all of that, him clinging to life. I lost one of my stepbrothers to leukemia. He had just gotten out of high school, and he went to the doctor at first because he was fatigued and he had bruises on his body. And he played, he played sports and stuff, so he thought it was bruising. They misdiagnosed it. So by the time they understood what was happening, it was too late. It was aggressive. It's horrible. Between the summer of getting out of high school and when he was supposed to start college, that's all it took. So, when you go through this stuff, I get that these are hard subjects sometimes, but kids subjects, man, I have trouble with kids subjects. I have a lot of trouble with them. I used to have a lot of problems with it. It probably shows sometimes. Like, it depends. I pause when I speak anyway, but sometimes, like with kids subjects anyway, I'll bite back something trying to come back because it's remembering cases, it's traumatic stuff. And that's just hearing about it. And that's not taking anything from what people experience. But it's terrible business. I hate these type of folks. Fucking hate them. Anyway, I don't mean to get dark in that, by the way. I'm just saying, I understand that. John, thanks for the 5 there. Ladies, when you're sure you've had all the kids you want to have, be sure to get your esophagus done. That's it. You get the tonsils removed. That's what you do. Heather, thanks for the 5. Curly hair has to be a great side effect. You can do anything with it. It's a blessing or a curse depending on the weather. Hope for the best. Indeed. John, thanks for the 5. Jesus wept. Surest verse in the Bible. God learned. Hell yes. We're splashing. Yeah, I always thought that was, like I said, my grandfather, who's very, very devoutly religious. He would say that Jesus wept. Always. Very, very few words came from that man. Until toward the end of his life, then he talked about war and trauma. He talked about World War II and all of that, but before that, talked about very, very little. But that was one of the things he always said. K-Rap, thanks for the gifted membership. Appreciate that. Thank you. Mindy Mouse, what's up? Thanks for the. Did you too hear about what our attorney said about winning the case with this document? Was it about winning the case against? So we're winning against Clayton. He was winning against you guys. Indeed. John, thanks for the 5. I've been fascinating with cartography from a young age. I hate that certain people call themselves maps. I don't like the minimization that's added to that kind of stuff. When pedophiles start calling themselves minor attracted persons. I believe that language has a meaning, and that word is seen as such a derogatory, damaging word for a reason. Because we are talking about monsters in a truly advanced or progressive, not in a progressive like people use the term, but in a progressive, like an advancing society, we take care of the most vulnerable. We take care of the elderly, the mentally ill, and the children. And these are monsters that prey on the most vulnerable. So yeah, no kindness to them at all. Marine, thanks for the 10 there. No statement, plenty of statement in there. Thank you. John, also, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, John. I appreciate you, by the way, my friend. I do want to throw that in there. By the way, I want to give some love to Ray. Ray, again, has been working on he's been working on a portal to truly help people in their endeavors. He does a lot of web work anyway for people. If you have a website that needs development, he's done miracles and helped myself out tremendously. But he's also for the development of comics and more. He's been working on that. I think that's something that people want to check out. I'm going to say Para. I'll mess up everything else otherwise. Thanks for the 5. Megan will not let her little one sleep in the bed tonight because it's Mr. Fox's birthday. They're getting on tonight. I'm not commenting on that. John thinks she couldn't swim that well, but claimed his swimmers were expert at digestive tract navigation. Allegedly. That's funny. Mildred, thanks for the 2. Consensual sex acts are not automatically abusive. Indeed, that's the thing that bothers me with all of this. Again, they were having sexual relations. They had it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then in the aftermath, she was like, well, these were this thing. And, he's talking about the relationship. And her wanting no matter what. I mean, again, you've seen others. You be the judge of all that yourself. We read through her statements on this, by the way. So no one can say we've not gone over both sides of that. We went through her statements. We if they would like to put out her talking just like we're seeing in the document there, so we can go line by line, then have at it. Drop that in public. We'll read that too. Tracy, thanks for the 2. Amber 2.0. Indeed. That's what it sounds like, when you get down to a lot of these crazy stories. I mean, it's just Sandy, thanks for the 5 there. And super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Ray, I didn't even see you in here, Ray. Appreciate you, my friend. Like I said, Ray's been working on stuff. Ray, I don't know. Like, there are a lot of good people out there. And Ray's done a lot. Again, I can't tell you like what it's like to have people try to destroy everything you do. And ThatUmbrellaGuy.com, my website. Yeah. The reason I have it under one roof. By the way, check out our merch and all that good stuff too. Check out our website for sure. But Ray, thanks for 12 months. Well, it's super late, but the grip is strong. What's helping my first customer? Awesome, man. Appreciate you. Like I said, I'm glad you're getting that. Woohoo. Was lurking though. Love the show. LOL. Hell chat. Love you guys too. Hey, love to you too, brother. Oh man. There's a lot of documents this week though. There's a lot of them. We'll be going through a lot of stuff on this. There's also a big jokelist thing. I mean, it's I was showing it to Megan. I'm gonna have to go through it because I mean she wrote a page. Let's just say she's never really completed an article, but she definitely seemed to write one on Facebook the other. I mean, it is a monster. Let me actually, I'm not going to read it tonight, but I want to show you what I'm talking about. Like, this is a beast of one. It'll take me just a second to get it, but oh my gosh, I love it. And thank you all that send me all this stuff too. Like I said, through work and everything else, I don't always have time to find everything. So, everyone from you folks, man, everybody that again keeps me apprised and shares all of this. I mean, there's certain people that I find fascinating, funny. I mean, I don't know. And again, I don't find what they do to people funny, but I do find them funny in the same way of, they don't realize that they are a comedy routine. So check this out here. It's actually I've got something running on it. So it's got a RAM CPU thing in the middle. So you have to ignore that. I'll have to take another screenshot, but check this out. All right. So this is the Jokelist newest post. I mean, look at this beast here. Now again, ignore this because that's just something I've got running right now. But look at all of that. Holy man. That's gonna be so fun to go through. I haven't read it. I don't read these until I go live typically. I mean, I see part of it, I can't help it, but that's gonna be one that I really want to read live because it will be entertaining. You know, I mean, it's yeah, no, yes, a novella indeed, indeed it is, it is, and I don't know. I find the Jokerless postings just they're hilarious to me. They crack me up. Like her obsession with Megan Fox. I mean, it just it's something else. But I think we're at a good place tonight. So I'm gonna call the stream here. I think it's a good place to end. Let me find us a song to end on today. I like that new song. I was playing with it. I was playing with a new program to actually to make videos with it. That's where that music video came from. That was actually attached to it at the very beginning of the program. Or the beginning of the stream. And another AI program, but it's got something that'll allow you to put in lyrics and stuff. I'm gonna try it out. But anyway, I'm gonna end with the song. And yeah, until next time, appreciate y'all.
Rolling up, I'm feeling fly, yeah, I'm so damn fresh. Got that platinum grill, bringing in the chest. Diamonds in my mouth, shining when I speak. That umbrella guy, flossing speaking geek. Ice on my teeth, I'm dripping so hard. Platinum grills, I'm the king of the boulevard. Throwing money in the club, making haters mad. I'm the baddest in the game, no one gets a pass. Ooh yeah. Crushing all these lines, yeah, I feel fly. Rolling on the dubs, that umbrella guy. Iced out flow on the boulevard. You ain't a comic gangster, don't be playing hard. Ice on my teeth, I'm flying so high. Dropping the bass, that umbrella guy. One drill to rule them all, one drill to bind them. Baby, I'm so iced out, gonna blind them. Rolling in town, I'm an army of one. Doing verbal walk-bys, blazing like the sun. Riding in my whip, crushing false accusers. Dropping off the bass on the real abusers. Yeah. Living life fast, no time for the slow. Justice on my mind, stacking up on that flow. Life in the fast lane, no time to blink. Ice on my teeth, watch it when I speak. Chillin' on my rhymes, never missing the beat. Ice on my teeth, yeah, I'm living that sweet. That umbrella guy, bringing the platinum heat. Crushing every hater, no time for defeat.